Welcome to the Face of Music Podcast. What's up, everybody? My name is Matt, and I'm your host. Welcome to episode 32. Stay tuned for our top 10 songs of the week. We have a lot to catch up on in music news, and my very special guest on the show today, prog band Dhara, is on the show. 32 episodes in. You ready? Let's do it. Welcome to the Face of Music Podcast, everybody. What's up? And welcome to the long-awaited episode number 32. I've got a killer top 10 for you this week. We also have quite a bit to talk about in music news. It's been a while. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sorry for the silence the last few weeks. I've had a lot going on. A couple of weeks ago, my wife and I went to Colorado for our friend's wedding. We took an Amtrak from New York to Chicago, and then from Chicago out to Colorado. I'm a big bitch when it comes to flying, so I don't do that, but that's why we took Amtrak. And I gotta tell you though, it was a really nice, relaxing ride. So big shout out to California Zephyr and Lakeshore Amtrak trains. Extremely comfortable, safe, trustworthy. Had a great experience. Guess it took 2 days of travel on both ends, but we also got to see so much of the country that we wouldn't have gotten to see otherwise. I was just as surprised to see that so much of this country is just straight fucking farmland though. Colorado, though, was absolutely beautiful. When we got there, everything was legitimately covered in the thickest fog that I've ever seen. But once it lifted, it was all mountains and blue sky. And we spent 4 days in Colorado. Our last full day there, we took a trip up to Estes Park, which is legitimately an hour-long trip up to the top of a mountain via car. Which for a bunch of New Yorkers who have never driven up a mountain before, we were all freaking the fuck out. It was extremely nerve-wracking. But we took a big group trip up there. I think there was 8 of us in total that met up at the top of the mountain in different cars. The coolest part for me, though, as we are almost to the top of this mountain, I see a sign for the legendary Stanley Hotel, the hotel from the movie The Shining. It wasn't on our list of things to do, so we didn't go check it out, but I did get a couple of pics from a distance. Still counts in my mind. Next day, we hopped back on the Amtrak on our way home. We had a long layover in Chicago on the way back. I think it was somewhere around 7 hours. So we got in around 2 p.m. and our train left, I think it was like 9:30 at night. So we had a lot of time to kill. We walked around a little bit. We saw the Chicago River, which was really cool to see. We saw the Sears Tower, which is now the Willis Tower. We also found this little restaurant called the South Branch Tavern, just over the footbridge of the river. And guys, when I tell you, this place had I'll call it the best burger that I have ever had in my life. I am not exaggerating. It was 2 patties, garlic aioli, French onion style onions, melted American. It was a god tier burger. Me and Rosalie both were like, damn, we're coming back to Chicago just for that. But yeah, if you're ever in Chicago, I recommend stopping in South Beach Tavern. It was a really cool little place. After lunch, we also found a cool little park around the block from the train station, because really at this point, it was starting to get a little dark out, and it's Chicago. It's unfamiliar, but, you also hear a lot about Chicago, and it's like, oh, don't travel too far, and I don't know what to believe. So I wanted to stay close, so we didn't really travel that far. We hung out in this little park, but it was cool. It was more like a botanical garden, really. But set up all around the area were games like ping pong, cornhole, chess. They had a little library outside that you can grab a book to read, and they had a stand that just had a bunch of board games on it. It was a really nice area. Great way to kill time for us for a little bit, and then we got back on the train at 9:30, and we arrived back in New York about 24 hours later. Once we got home, we had about 3 days to pack our entire apartment and get the fuck out. Which I'm sure you're noticing, this is not my typical background. I'm in the process of transitioning into the new place. I just bought a new desk. I have to get that set up. But yeah, my usual green screen background is MIA for today. But we'll be back for the next episode, which won't be in 3 weeks. It will be next week, as planned. But yeah, as I told you guys previously, due to me not being able to find work yet, which is still a thing, excuse me, we're going to be living at my parents' house for a bit to recoup and regroup and save some money. So we finished, we moved 3 days later after we got back. On Saturday, finished bringing everything over and cleaning up by the following Friday. We had a truck for Saturday, and we packed it as much as we could, moved everything in. We left behind a lot of small stuff that we could just throw in the cars. Because the real rush was get the big shit out. So, we finished packing up. We went over there the following Friday and just cleaned everything, finished packing everything. It's been completely chaotic past few weeks, which is why the show hasn't really been doable for the last few weeks. It's been nonstop. And now, I don't know if you guys can tell, I am sick too. So to top it all off, I've been in between having and not having a voice the last few days, which has been stellar. But yeah, aside from that, everything's been pretty okay. Hope you guys are doing pretty good. I hope you had a great Halloween, and I hope you're ready to pick up where we left off with episode 31, which was 3 weeks ago now. We are in the home stretch for the year, and I have some exciting things coming down the pipeline to close out 2025. I truly cannot believe that we're there already. I've been seeing Christmas commercials on TV for about 2 weeks already. I want to fucking puke. I'm not ready for this shit. But on today's show, we have the prog band Dhara. Our top 10 this week will also feature all prog metal. Just in time for No Shave November. Neckbeards. Don't worry, I got that too. 2025 has been a wild ride to say the least. Has me looking at my life under a bit of a microscope, and I find myself going back to happier times in my mind. Times where I would have friends knocking at my door on Saturday morning to ask me to go play hockey, or go to the park to hit baseballs, or to a time before my friends moved out of state and they were only 5 minutes away, staying up until all hours of the night hanging out and talking. Well, what's a time in your life that you look back to fondly, nostalgically? What is something that you wish you could experience again just one more time? Is there any part about your life today that you feel you could look back on in 20 years with the same kind of nostalgia? I know that's a bit of a loaded question for a lot of us, but it does make you think. It makes you think about making the most of our today, because we don't always know our tomorrow, and makes us want to savor life, making every minute count. If you're like me, you want to do your best to stay present and in the moment. Did you know that therapy is a good way to help sort through these feelings? My friends, BetterHelp is the sponsor for today's episode, and they are on a mission to make starting therapy easier. They will connect you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen to you and give you helpful, unbiased advice. You'll just fill out a questionnaire and you will match with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. You can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost if it's not the right fit for you. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. BetterHelp also accepts both HSA and FSA cards, making it even easier to prioritize your mental health. In 2024 alone, over 137,000 people used their HSA or FSA benefits for therapy through BetterHelp, so be sure to use yours before they expire. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/facethemusic and get 10% off your first month of therapy. If you are interested in coming on the show, I am booking now into December and beyond. I won't be taking many interviews in December, so if you're interested in coming on the show, please let me know ASAP. Either message me on Instagram or email me at theftmpod@gmail.com. Bands, this goes for you as well. If you have new music coming out, a new video, a new show that you have coming up, let me know about it so I can help you promote it. If you want a reaction video done for any of your newer music, let me know about that too. I'd be more than happy to do more reaction videos. For all of my first-time listeners, it is my pleasure to officially welcome you all to the Face of Music family. I hope that you like what you hear. Make sure that you go check out all the other great episodes of the Face of Music podcast. You've got a lot of catching up to do. I'm glad you're here. When you're listening, it's our time to just hang out together and forget about all the insanity in life. There's no negativity. There is no bullshit here. There's no politics here. This is no worry or no stress. I'm here to talk with you about all things hard rock and metal, expose you to some great music, including at least 3 independent artists every single week, and bring you some fun and entertaining discussions from artists that you know and love, like Chris Kontos of Machine Head and Jason Bittner of Shadows Fall, to artists that you may not know yet, but I feel like deserve your whole attention. Thank you for tuning in, and I sincerely hope that you enjoy. For all of my returning listeners, welcome back, my friends. Thank you for listening week after week. Thank you for joining me once again on another episode of the Face of Music podcast. Much love to you all. I am so thankful and so lucky to have your support. Been a while, but the same, whether it's podcast related, if it's the Linkin Park show related, people are just sharing the stuff, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone helping me get the word out. Dead Within Days, Gavel Down, Riff Haven Audio, Moongroove Records, Oceanside, John Gunther, Rob Moon, Mike Mars, Kill Baron, Resist the Temptation, Sam from Bleed the Gods, Cross Island Connect. Thank you for sharing my stuff to your pages. I really appreciate the love. If you want your name added to that list, all you have to do is just share something that I share and tag me in it when you do, just to get my eyes on it. It's that simple. Now, I'll be honest, guys, if you are listening right now, you are already doing the one thing that I want everybody to do, which is listen to the show. But I'm sure you're sitting there thinking to yourself, man, this podcast is awesome. How can I help it grow? Well, it's so funny you should ask. Here are 3 quick, easy, and free ways that you can help. Number 1, follow the podcast and listen every week. If you're hearing this, you're already doing this. This is the time-consuming part. This is what I call the hard part. Number 2, follow the Instagram and Facebook pages, comment on posts. If there's a poll, throw your 2 cents in there. This may be my podcast, but this is our community. I like including you guys. I like hearing what you have to say. Your voices matter to me. And finally, number 3, share the page or a post. if you're listening right now, you definitely know somebody else who would also enjoy. So spread the word and tell them what's up. I feature signed and independent bands every week from all over the world. You or someone you know could find your new favorite band right here. I only promote the bands that I feel truly bring something to the table, something worth paying attention to, so I promise that I won't waste your time. I hope you found some great new bands to listen to because of this podcast. I know me personally, I have. Now, at this point, you also may be thinking to yourself, is there a way I could support in other ways? Do you sell any merch? Again, amazing question. Really. I do have shirts and official Face Music Podcast bottle opener keychains for sale. Keychains are $3 and shirts are $12. Hit me up on Instagram or email me if you want to buy. I have Zelle, Venmo. If you're local, I could do cash. If I got to ship, just there's going to be an extra $10 in there for a shipping cost. But if you come to a Face the Music event, I will always have stuff on the table there as well. So if you do happen to come to an event like, let's say, November 15th, next Saturday at Shakers, where Project Zero, my Linkin Park cover band, is making its debut, there will more than likely also be hot sauce on the table too. Hot sauce went over very well at MGR Fest, and it's something that I might do specifically for Face the Music events. I'm still up in the air. I am 99% sure that I will be bringing a hot sauce to the show next week. It's just a matter of getting money together, getting bottles here on time, if I can get the labels here on time. But I would count on it. I've made more happen with less time. So, yeah, it'll be a fan favorite flavor that I made for... I would say maybe 4 years ago now. I don't want to tell you too much, but it is a fall flavored hot sauce, and it will sell. My friends, for the first time in 3 whole ass weeks, let's get into today's top 10. Now, if you've been here a while, you know the drill, but if you're new, here's the rundown. If you're watching on Spotify, you'll hear all the songs in the top 10 as intended. But unfortunately, if you're watching this on YouTube, I usually cut the song clips out because they get instantly flagged during upload. So if you are watching on YouTube, I apologize, but the clips won't be featured. If you're watching and they are, it's because I said fuck it and rolled the dice because I ran into days of computer issues and just ran out of patience. But that is not a common occurrence. Nothing I could do about getting flagged until YouTube fixes their licensing system. But I do encourage you to watch on Spotify for the full experience. You can still listen to the full songs as well on the Face Music Top 10s playlist, also on Spotify. The code will be at the end of the top 10, and it's also in the link that's on all of my socials. 32 weeks in, we have over 330 songs. We are slowly climbing our way to 400 songs. Over 20 hours of carefully curated, truly fantastic hard rock and metal music for you to enjoy. I will keep it 100% for you guys. I listened to this playlist every single night when I was traveling on the Amtrak a couple weeks ago, and I have no reason to bullshit you. This is a phenomenal playlist. Go check it out. This week's top 10, we release our inner prog nerd. We will hear from 3, Into Eternity, Renovar, Tool, The Astral Cadence, Meshuggah, Dhara, Opeth, Symphony X, and of course, you can't have a prog list without Dream Theater. Kicking things off at number 10, we have the Swedish prog gent gods Meshuggah. Meshuggah started all the way back in 1987, pioneering the gent subgenre. The band has seen a few different personnel changes since '87, but at the roots has been Jans Kidman, Fredrik Thorndahl, And those two are the original members of the band. Joining in 1989 was Thomas Hockey, who's been the band's drummer ever since. And latecomers Martin Hagstrom joined on rhythm guitar in 93, and Dick Lovegren joined on bass in 2004. The band has released 9 studio albums, arguably their most famous being Obscen back in 2008, which had their biggest fan favorite song, Bleed, a 7.5 minute long pummeling song that features some of the most consistent guitar picking and just confusing drum patterns, but it's a fucking banger of a song. Back in 2016, Meshuggah released The Violent Sleep of Reason, 58 minutes of straight, genty, proggy goodness. This album also gave us our number 10 song for this week. The song that kicks off the whole album. At number 10, this is Meshuggah off of The Violent Sleep of Reason. This is Clockworks. Number 9, from Woodstock, New York, we have the band 3. Unfortunately, this band is not as well known as they deserve to be, and that's a total shame. I saw these dudes back in 2007 at the original Progressive Nation tour. They opened for Between the Buried and Me, Opeth, Dream Theater. This band blew me away. Flamenco-style guitars, unique vocals, an incredible drummer, and an unbelievable songwriting skill. I fell in love with 3 very quickly. I went and bought their album straight from the merch table that night, and I always kept my eyes and ears open for them after that, but they didn't really seem to get too much further than that. The band has since stopped playing, unfortunately, but frontman Joey Eppard still performs solo material, and with his band Reelin' in the Years, celebrating the music of Steely Dan. I hold out hope that 3 will make a comeback at some point, but until they do, I encourage you all to check out this incredible band. Off of the 2007 album The End Is Begun, this is the title track. This is 3 with The End Is Begun. Coming in at number 8 this week, we have Renovar. Renovar in Latin means to revive, to renew, at least according to the band's Instagram page. Renovar is a prog metal band hailing from Pennsylvania that strives to convey honest messages, raw emotions, and life experiences through musical composition. To date, the band has only released 2 things on Spotify. They have a single released in 2018 entitled From Beneath, and an EP that was released 2 years later in 2020 entitled Despite. The band doesn't really have much of a social media presence, but as per a post they made back in May of this year, they are in studio working on new music, and they were filming a music video as of October 10th. Keep an eye out for them, because hopefully, I'm hoping anyway, they become more active on social media. They have a great product, and they should be pushing this as much as they possibly can. A band like this deserves to be relevant. Off of their 2020 EP, Despite, our number 8 song for week 32, this is Renovar with Dissolution. Coming in at number 7, we have Tool. Tool is a band out of Los Angeles. They formed back in 1990 by Adam Jones and Maynard James Keenan. Danny Carey and original bassist Paul Diamore completed the lineup shortly after. Justin Chancellor would replace Diamore in 1995. The first recordings to feature Chancellor would be the band's album Enema in 1996. Tool is known as one of the biggest names in progressive metal music, known for their massive arena performances and Maynard's enigmatic behavior on stage. The Legends have had an incredibly long career and still continue to sell out arenas and headline festivals regularly. Back in 2006, the band released 10,000 Days, which would be the follow-up to 2001's Lateralis, and the last album the band would release until 2019's Fear Inoculum, 13 years later. The band is said to be working on new music now and wants to release another album sooner than it took last time, but today we'll be revisiting 10,000 Days. Our number 7 song belongs to Tool. This is Jambi. Number 6, we have today's special guests, the band Dhara. Dhara is a unique outfit that you guys will learn a lot more about shortly in today's interview. They're a prog band. They tend to have their heavy moments, but at the root, they just love progressive music, and that's what they're the most passionate about. Just writing music they enjoy playing. The band has a very special presentation that they're doing December 5th at the Belmore Movie Theater, a project that has taken the band over 7 years to work on. The band is releasing their movie, Elemental 4. This is a free event. Visit the band's Instagram bio for the RSVP link. The band talks about this extensively in our interview. At the time recording, there was no date announced, but 3 weeks down the line, all details have emerged. Number 6 this week, we have the boys in Dhara with Put a Bird on It. Coming in at number 5, we have the Mighty Dream Theater. I felt a little weird doing a whole list of prog and prog metal music and not including the band that made me fall in love with the genre as a whole. Ironically, I got a text from my friend Sean of Devoted Fusion on my way home from Colorado a couple of weeks ago, and he said that he's got an extra ticket to see Dream Theater the night that I was actually moving here. Instantly, I told Sean yes. I can't really say no to that. The band just finished. Actually, the show me and Sean were at was the last night of the tour. In support of their new album Parasomnia, which they played in full that night. Also celebrating the 30th anniversary of the album A Change of Seasons. They threw in a lot of classic Dream Theater songs over the course of the 3-hour-long show, and we had our tickets upgraded, I guess, due to poor ticket sales, but hell, I was not complaining about this. Floor seats are always nice, especially when the upgrade is on the house. They sounded incredible. The new album was great live. My only critique is maybe James LaBrie should be considering using backing tracks now, but to his credit, as monotone as he was at some points, he sang the entire show live. So kudos to that. Today, our number 5 spot, I am bringing you one of my all time favorite Dream Theater tracks off of my all time favorite Dream Theater album, the album Train of Thought. The instrumental track that really opened my eyes to the possibilities to creating this kind of music. This is Dream Theater at number 5 with Stream of Consciousness. At number 4 this week, we have the Canadian metal band Into Eternity. Into Eternity, similar to the band 3 that we heard from earlier, I was introduced to by seeing them open for Dream Theater. This band was incredible live. They were proggy, they had insane drumming, they had phenomenal riffing and guitar work, but the one thing that really stood out to me among the rest was the vocals. The same dude that was hitting the low gutturals and growls was also hitting the massive high notes. I had never heard that kind of range out of a singer before. When I got home that night, I went and 100% downloaded all of their stuff illegally, but I needed to hear more from this band. So I pirated everything that I could find. Heard all the songs that I had just heard live and so many others. Same quality, they sounded exactly like the albums. They had all the crazy heavy stuff that I loved, but they also, I found a lot of songs from them that were still heavy but not quite as crazy, still showed off sides of what I grew to love about the band, which is a more melodic side of things. That's where our number 4 song comes in. This song comes off of the 2004 album Buried in Oblivion. This is Into Eternity with Black Sea of Agony. Just a quick recap of our top 10 before we get into our top 3 songs of week 32. Number 10, we had Meshuggah with Clockworks. At number 9, we had 3, The End Is Begun. Number 8, we had Renovar, Desolation. Number 7, Tool, Jambi. Number 6, we had Dhara, Put a Bird on It. Number 5, we had Dream Theater with Stream of Consciousness. And at number 4, we just heard from Into Eternity, The Black Sea of Agony. Coming in at number 3, we have New York City instrumental prog band The Astral Cadence. This 3-piece band is known for combining elements of metal with jazz and experimental fusion. The band formed a while back with their first release debuting in 2018, their album Paradigm, before releasing The Event in 2021, RNA in 2023, and Big Bounce in 2024. The band is known around the New York music scene for having extremely energetic live shows as well as their musicianship. Our number 3 song of week 32 comes from their 2018 album Paradigm. This is the first song you hear when you hit play. This is the Astral Cadence with The Alchemist. Coming in at number 2 out of Middletown, New Jersey, we have Symphony X. The band started back in 1994. They had some early on lineup rearranging, but their most consistent lineup was solidified in the early 2000s with Michael Romeo on guitar, Michael Pinella on keyboards, Jason Rulo on drums from 94 to 97. He took a small break and then came back in 1999, and he's been the main guy in the fold ever since. Also joining the fold in 1999 was bassist Michael LaPond, and replacing their original singer, who was only in the band for one very short year, Mr. Russell Allen joined up in 1995 and has been the only man for the job ever since. This band doesn't just write songs, they write stories. Each member is so unbelievably prolific at their each individual instruments that you can't really help but get sucked into it. They are still very active, touring non-stop, it seems. Russell, of course, is also the former vocalist of Adrenaline Mob, which also featured Mike Orlando on guitar, and a rotation of drummers and bassists from Mike Portnoy to AJ Pero, rest in peace, to Chad Zeglia, from Breaking Ben, to Jordan Kanata, who was the band's final drummer, at the time of their horrific bus accident, which also took the life of then bassist David Z, who was also Russell's bandmate in Trans-Siberian Orchestra as well. The band's tour manager had also passed away from sustained injuries, and the drummer Jordan Kanata, who I just mentioned before, I believe he's playing with Slaughter now. Luckily, he survived the crash only with a couple broken bones, but that was the end of Adrenaline Mob, unfortunately. They were a phenomenal band. Russell, you could still catch on tour annually with Trans-Siberian Orchestra when he isn't touring with Symphony X. Today, though, I am going to throw it back to 2002 for you guys off of the band's album The Odyssey, which the final track features a musical interpretation of the classic poem by Homer. This is your number 2 song of the week. This is Symphony X with Inferno, Unleash the Fire. And finally, our number 1 song of week 32. Now, much like Dream Theater, certain bands need to be included when you're talking about prog metal. We've covered Dream Theater, we've covered Tool, we've covered Meshuggah, but there's only one band missing. Opeth. Opeth are a Swedish progressive death metal band out of Stockholm that started up in 1990. Known classically for a much heavier sound with death metal vocals, through their career they've exchanged their sound back and forth to be more prog forward, tons more clean singing. Nowadays at their live shows they mix it up quite a bit in retrospect to their career. Our number 1 song actually has made it back into live rotation as well, which is pretty cool. It's a song about a man who submits to summoning the devil after feeling guilt after murdering his mother. This is a song that was introduced to me by Anthony of Old Bones way back in the day when we were in Requiem of Ashes together. He told me that the bridge part to this song, at that point anyway, was his favorite part of any metal song ever. I don't know if that still stands true, but Anthony, thanks for showing me the song, dude. Thank you for introducing me to Opeth. They are a phenomenal band. Yeah, guys, at our number 1 song of week 32, this is Opeth off of Ghost Reveries with The Grand Conjuration. You can check out all of the full songs on the Face Music Top 10s playlist on Spotify by either searching or scanning the code that is on your screen now. So it's been a while since we updated the show list, and a few things have passed since we last talked. October 11th, I got to see the return of the Stitched Up, who were absolutely fantastic. Also taking the stage that night was a band that's been a must-see on my list basically the entire year. The band Uchikatsu, the horror band out of right here on Long Island, New York. They put so much work into delivering one of the most fun and engaging live shows that I've ever been a part of. The band plays, they're extremely interactive, but they have a team of actors and dancers that really bring the show to life. They're the ones that get into the crowd and just start pits. They throw pool noodles in the second the show starts for like boffer fights. They shoot bubbles at everybody. It was such a fun experience. I can't wait to see them again soon. I'm pretty sure their next show is at AMH on November 26th. I plan on being there, so hopefully I see you guys there too. Next up, Monster Mosh just went down this past Saturday night. I bought my ticket, and unfortunately, I got pretty badly hurt at about 1 a.m. Saturday morning. I basically pulled a muscle that went from my back left shoulder blade all the way around to the front of the left side of my chest. It was so painful that I couldn't actually draw a full breath for close to an hour. It still hurts now, actually. It still hurts right in here, and I've been doing my stretches and everything to loosen it up, but it's still very tight. It's still very painful. But why is this relevant? Well, it's relevant because I had to miss Monster Mosh. And I was heartbroken about that because I've not only been looking forward to the show since it was announced, but I've been promoting the show since it was announced. This is one of my most anticipated shows of 2025, hands down. From early on this year, I've had Pathmaker, Dead Within Days, and Resist the Temptation all on the show separately. Each and every time they would mention this show, this Halloween show they do every year. And every single band that said, I think that this year we're going to sell it out. I think this year we're going to get there. I think this year we're going to make this one for the record books. And it turns out they did it. They sold out. 100% of the show sold out. So I am so bummed that I couldn't be there, but I do want to offer massive congratulations to Terrigenous, Dead Within Days, Resist the Temptation, and Pathmaker for officially selling out the show and then some. 200 capacity venue, and each band worked so hard for this. From what I saw, it looked like such a fun night. Everybody dressed in costumes. The video that I saw of all the bands, everybody sounded amazing. It really does show the power of independent music. Bands that work the hardest reap the biggest reward. Should also be mentioned that this was a ticketed event. That's right, unsigned bands. They sold physical tickets. Not pay to play, but everybody sold tickets to the show and worked their asses to the bone and maxed out the room. I'm looking forward to see what these bands have cooking for 2026, but I wanted to definitely shout out this event one final time for 2025. Now for upcoming shows this month, we have November 14th, 2025 at Amityville Music Hall, presented by Cross Island Connect. We have Escuela Grind, Nora, God's Eyes, Faka, The Rule of Thumb, and the second show ever from Bleed the Gods. This is a special show for a few reasons. Number one, Rule of Thumb is releasing an EP at this show. Number two, Bleed the Gods is releasing their EP at this show. Number three, this is the 50th show Cross Island Connect is doing And lastly, and most importantly, it is my good friend Sam's birthday. Sam, of course, is the lead vocalist for Bleed the Gods, so show up, come throw down with an entire night of great music. I'll be there hanging out for sure. Now, next up, one day later, I know you guys have this marked in your calendars. Why wouldn't you? I hope that you guys are ready because this is a big one for the podcast. November 15th, for all Long Island, New York, however the fuck far you want to travel for it. If you're a fan of Linkin Park, this is for you. This is a show that's going to be a part of a Linkin Park roundtable discussion that will be airing in December of this year, so next month. This roundtable will not be like every other episode of this podcast. It will be a very special format featuring few guests where we all get together and discuss the career and impact of the band, and of course, the late great Chester Bennington. The roundtable date will be announced once all participants are selected. I believe I am waiting on an answer from one or two people, but the wheels are going to start turning on this one very soon. I'm very, very excited. But I am very proud to announce that Saturday, November 15th at Shaker's Pub in Oakdale, New York, I'll be making my return to the stage for the first time since March 1st of 2020. I will be doing so with Mr. Tom Gallagher and Joe DeMeo of Soul Searcher on vocals and bass, respectively. Dylan Frantin from Resist the Temptation will be on rhythm guitar that night. Alec Rogers, formerly of The Unpermitted, will be behind the kit. Alex Krause of The Stitched Up will be rapping. And on samples, we have Mr. Travis Parker. We'll be paying tribute to the band that has had a massive impact on all of us as Project Zero, paying homage to the band's beginnings as Zero before they were Linkin Park, and Project Revolution, the legendary touring festival that they toured multiple times on. Joining us on stage November 15th at Shakers, we have the newly added metal band Rebar. Unfortunately, if you've been following, Rominer had to drop off the show. We also have my friends and show alumni skate punk, pop punk band Oceanside making their return to the stage after years away, after releasing their incredible new album Hearts Run Dark. Also, friends and podcast alumni Gavel Down will be on the show. Entry for this event is $15 bought at the door. There are no tickets for this event. Doors are going to be at 6 and the first band hits the stage at 7 p.m. Project Zero will be filming our entire set, and the performance will be featured in the roundtable episode of the podcast, which will be airing, like I said, next month. So, again, November 15th at Shaker's Pub, $15 admission, show starts at 7. Make sure you get there early and you stay late. Show should be done before 11 p.m. This is a big one, guys. I haven't played live in over 5 years, closer to 6 than anything at this point. And I would love it if everybody can come out and reciprocate some of that support that I show so many people right here on the Face of Music podcast. And if you are interested in being a part of this episode, like I said, the roundtable portion I'm pretty full with. But if you want to submit a video, just shouting out the band, letting everyone know what Linkin Park has meant to you in your life, what Chester's meant to you, or what their music has done for you, if it's been one of those life-changing bands like it's been for so many. Do, I would say, no more than a 10 to 20 second video, and just shoot me an email with it at theftmpod@gmail.com with Linkin Park in the subject line. I will feature every video submission. I can promise you that. I will feature every video submission that I get sent in. I just can't accept any more people for the roundtable. So, thank you for everyone who has helped me fill this out so far. I'm very excited to get this going. So, in music news, there has been so much shit going on that I don't even know where to start. I guess the most logical place would be with the happy stuff, right? Well, In this case, I guess kind of bittersweet. Last we talked, Alex Bent had just left Trivium for undisclosed reasons. We later found out he had to leave due to his daughter's health. She was declining, and Alex and his wife almost lost their baby girl, so I'm happy to report that she's doing much better, and the three of them are back home. Now with Alex gone, that left the drum throne vacant, and this is where we left off. Grayson Recruitment of Sepultura, Long Island boy himself, would fly out to California and perform with Trivium for their set at Aftershock on about a 2-day notice. Well, just as quickly as Grayson arrived, he also departed. Trivium announced that due to Grayson's previous commitments with touring, his schedule would not allow him to be in both bands at once. So, to replace Grayson, they hire former Whitechapel drummer Alex Rudinger. Rudy is very well known in the metal community and has a great reputation as a drummer, so everybody seemed more than excited that Trivium would announce that he would be sticking around for a while. Originally, Rudy was the drummer that they wanted prior to Alex Bent. The announcement was not only that Rudy will be their touring drummer for a while, but they also have plans to bring him into studio to track the next album too. I would imagine they're looking forward to long-term with this relationship, hopefully, because they are on Spinal Tap numbers of drummers at this point. But his first few shows with the band were this past weekend, and he nailed it. From the new tracks from the Struck Dead EP to the classics like Pull Harder and The Sin in the Sentence, the fans knew Trivium was in good hands. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this relationship. Second best grab to Alex Bent that they could have gotten, honestly. Now, next up, Megadeth started dropping track names for their new and final album. They announced 10 songs, but fans started noticing some scrambled letters underneath song number 10. Megadeth had previously announced that they'll be recording a cover for this final album as well. Well, since the first 10 songs announced were obviously not covers, that left speculation to what this mystery 11th song would be. The internet did what it does best and came up with an answer within a day or so, and then it became heavily speculated that this cover was not only going to be extremely well known and loved by the metal community, it would be a cover of none other than, you guessed it, Metallica. Dave announced the band will be re-recording and releasing his version of the Metallica classic Ride the Lightning, as he wrote all the way back before getting fired from the band. Now, personally here, I think Dave's got balls for doing such a beloved track, but maybe this will finally lay his soul to rest about Metallica 40 some odd years later. Megadeth is set to release their final album next January, and that's when we also get to hear the cover. No previews are going to be available for that, as far as I'm aware. I hope it rips, though. Like, legitimately rips. If it sucks even a little bit, it could potentially turn fans off the entire album. That's the closing song on the final Megadeth album, so that it's gotta do justice to the song. Now, speaking of Megadeth, they have been confirmed alongside Anthrax to be opening for Maiden next year. That's a hot ticket. It went on sale already. I really wouldn't be surprised if it's sold out. Now, unfortunately, not all of the news over the last few weeks since we last saw each other has been good news. 3 weeks ago, the world lost a rock and roll icon, a real legend to the genre, and native New Yorker. Mr. Ace Frehley sadly passed away. Ace had been in not so great health, but there was also a reported fall, a brain bleed, and that he was on life support. By late afternoon, it was announced to the public that the legendary rocker had passed away. Ace was 74 years old. Rest peacefully, spaceman. And now, to close our news, again, this is not good news, but if you know me, you know how big of a Limp Bizkit fan I am. I was absolutely stunned to hear that Mr. Sam Rivers, the bassist of Limp Bizkit, had also passed away. It was reported that Sam was battling ongoing health issues and was a very private person, but what was assumed by EMTs on the scene said that he had shown similarities to a pulmonary embolism. He was found unresponsive in his bathroom at home, laying in a pool of his own blood. EMTs worked on him, but unfortunately, Sam did not survive. Sam was so young. He was only 48 years old. The man was the backbone of the Limp Bizkit rhythm section, a founding member of the band, and what the entire band was built off of. The band posted stating that they'll continue on in Sam's memory because this was his dream too. Sam, thank you for everything that you gave to nu metal, to Limp Bizkit, to us as the fans. You gave us your all, your entire life. Every stadium and arena around the world felt it, and you will never be forgotten. Now, I guess we can end this on more of a light note. If you want to look at it this way, it's another death in music, but 2 people in prison finally murdered Ian Watkins. I won't get into why that's a good thing or what he did. You can look all of that up for yourself. If you don't know why he was in jail or so deserving of this fate, but Ian Watkins, have fun in hell, dude. You guys ready to get into this week's special guests? Hailing from Long Island, New York, this prog band has decided to channel their art differently than any other band in a local scene. These guys have decided that they will focus their art to score their own movie. This is a very cool project for them. I hope to see you there December 5th at the Belmore Movie Theater. Let's learn about Elemental 4 and everything this fantastic band stands for. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Dhara. So, first and foremost, welcome to the Face of Music podcast, guys. Thank you so much for coming and doing this. I know it was kind of hard getting all the pieces set for a little bit, but I'm glad we finally pulled it off. But for anyone who is watching, this is Dhara out of Long Island, New York, instrumental prog metal band. Why don't you guys go around, introduce yourselves, let everyone know what you play. I guess we'll start with my left. I have Austin.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'm Austin. I play guitar for Dhara.
And Kay.
Okay, I play guitar as well.
And Ryan.
I'm the bass player.
And Chris.
I hit circles with wood. I'm the drummer.
Very cool, man. So yeah, welcome to the show, guys. So how's everything been? As I was saying before you got on camera, Ryan, I haven't seen you guys since the Monolith Zero show at Stereo Garden, so it's been a bit since we've caught up. But how you guys been?
Fun show.
What's new?
Yeah, we've been good. We've been pressing forward with a lot of new things. We did a performance about 2 years ago called Elemental 4, and we're classifying it as a rock ballet. So basically, it's 5 choreographed dancers doing dance for a storyline, along with us playing music full nonstop for about like an hour and 9 minutes is about the performance time. And we're finally mixing and mastering the record, which is basically the audio from that performance, and the video is coming out with it also. And that's coming into a very close head as we get the last of the masters and get ready to put this out to the world.
That's very exciting. That's cool. I didn't know that you guys were doing that.
Yeah.
So, what inspired that? Like, what made you say you want to do like a whole rock opera ballet type thing like that?
I think,
turn to Chris.
yeah. So, a little bit about me. I grew up listening to a lot of progressive music, of course, but some of my main influences were like Genesis, back when like Peter Gabriel was doing stuff. So he was doing some really wild concept stuff and stage performances.
Hmm.
Pink Floyd did the same thing, so I've always had an attachment to that, and I've always associated it with progressive music. So I've always wanted to do that. But the one missing component is a lot of those bands, they have the singer to be at the front of it and to kind of change costumes and stuff like that. So we had to find another solution since none of us really sing.
Hmm.
So an old bandmate, Claire Cuny, who happens to have a background in ballet, and I asked her, "Hey, we have these 10 songs. Do you want to like choreograph the story that I wrote?" And she was like, "Yes." So that's kind of how it came out to be. So I wrote the story. It's it's uh, it's pretty simple. It's basically about these four entities that are basically proxies of the band, and they have to reunite and summon the conduit, which is kind of like the representation of the band and the four pieces coming together to create something bigger. So that's it. Yep.
That's cool, man. That's a really cool concept. And I agree about Peter Gabriel and Pink Floyd and all that kind of stuff in the early days doing just the craziest, weirdest shit. They were the pioneers of what prog became. But yeah, man, that's really cool. And not too many people actually that I talk to on the podcast anyway reference, Peter Gabriel. I've heard Pink Floyd a few times, but Genesis and Peter Gabriel really never get the credit that they deserve for what they did. But
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, how like unrepresented. I mean, it's funny because they're so big.
mhm,
You know, Peter Gabriel afterwards, he did a few things after, and Genesis got bigger after he left.
mhm,
Maybe because there was less of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in terms of influence, what about the rest of you guys? Like, what are you all influenced by?
I'm pretty much on the same category as Chris with like the old school like art rock and old school progressive rock like Emerson Lake and Palmer always comes into rotation for me along with like old school Peter Gabriel records. Yeah, a lot of Pink Floyd and stuff. I'm also very much into like R&B and jazz as well, so I really like just like the soul feel of that type of stuff. But in terms of listening versatility, I don't think there's a genre I haven't touched and not enjoyed. So, I mean, everything from metal to classical is kind of within my category. It's just good music, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What about you, Kay?
You know, for me, it's kind of like Austin. I think the four of us have the same thing in common. We like a lot of different music, and it just really depends on the time of day or whatever's going on. Like Chris and Austin, I also love Pink Floyd. I think that's one band we all have in common. For me, I think King Crimson defined more of like the progressive edge
Hmm.
from that era. But then, I think like torch was passed on to other bands. So like I had my Dream Theater phase,
Yeah.
you know. I'm still in my Opeth phase because there's like eras and eras of Opeth where just they do something different.
Hmm.
But I think like for me it's just there's a band called Sigur Rós,
Hmm.
which I learned about like 15 years ago. And the second that I heard them, I was like, this is something else. And so that kind of thing sort of like opened me to, doing big things, but more in like an ambient context.
Hmm.
And I've always loved soundtracks, whether it's games or movies. Like I'm not playing the game, I'm listening to the soundtrack. Like that happens a lot. And then there's like, I don't know, like we can spend hours discussing like bands I
Yeah.
like, but it's a lot of stuff.
That's cool,
You know,
man.
there's heavy stuff, there's ambient stuff, there's like some jazz in there. You know, lately, I'll tell you what I'm listening to right now. The new Deftones album and the last two Thrice records, one of which just dropped on Friday, I think.
Oh, cool. I was never really much of a Thrice fan. Everyone I know is, but I haven't really like given them
Yeah.
the fair shot, I don't think. So I'll have to check out. The new album's good though?
Yeah, I mean, every album's different for them. This
Yeah.
one is a continuation of their last album.
Okay.
They sort of reference a lot of the material from their previous one, and Thrice kind of just some in some shape or form they've like been around for me. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
That's cool, dude. What about you, Ryan?
A big mix of everything as well. What stemmed from the classic rock in my dad's CD collection. Also included some jazz from all eras into Spanish music and classical music and kind of everything in between. Like recently, I've been doing just kind of a lot of ambient stuff that sounds like you're in the middle of the desert somewhere, and but that always gets mixed in with stuff like Queens of the Stone Age and everything else for me.
That's cool, man. So all of you guys have a more like classic rock, early prog kind of background. I mean, obviously, Kay, Ryan, you guys mentioned some of the heavier bands like Opeth, Queens of the Stone Age, just are more of a hard rock thing. But what made you guys decide that prog metal is the way to go for the sound that you want to play? Or would you even classify yourself as like prog metal? Like you have a very unique sound. So how would you guys put a label on that?
I think
Yep,
we
I always find this to be challenging. The inner criticism of being like, what genre do you call your music? It's my music, I guess. Because like we all write our parts from like honest places, so it's
Mhm.
like hard to be like, almost like judgmental about it, about your own artwork.
Right.
Um, but I think it was just like the culmination of all of our backgrounds, and then just what we thought sounded good at the time, you know?
Mm.
Yeah. I think we're
So
like explosions in the sky, but if explosions in the sky like did odd time signatures, as basically, we have a very lead heavy, so we have a lot of the leads and like that like our stuff is in odd time signatures, but a
mhm.
lot of people don't even notice it. It's just kind of like I like to say like the drummer always plays 4/4 no matter what.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, what's
So
what's that math rock joke? Everything's in 4/4. Stop counting like a nerd.
yeah, exactly. So
yeah, it's I think for us um we don't we'll have songs which are long enough where like there will be a section that's kind of metal, but there'll be an ambient part
Mhm.
and there'll be like a groovy part somewhere. Like so we for us I think it's just more wherever the creative thread kind of goes is more like what we tend to follow. So it's like there are times when we're a little more deliberate about what a part should sound like, I guess, but it's more just to like, does it sound cohesive?
Mhm.
For us, that's
Yeah.
the more important thing. And so genres have just been kind of like really not even an afterthought for us. It's just like it is what it is, as long as we're having fun writing and playing it, and like that's really kind of all that matters for us. Like it
Yeah.
could be, it's whatever.
I mean, that's ultimately what matters, period. If you guys love what you're doing, if you're having fun doing it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's case in point. That's it.
And I have to call out like one very specific thing here. Like we are blessed to have Ryan and Chris having such a deep, long history playing together
Mm.
that it makes it very easy for Austin and I to come up with crazy shit. And then we know they'll make it groove. Like it's
Right.
just like we're not afraid of throwing anything at them.
Mhm.
So that's like I think that's a big reason why it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What's our classic thing of practice? Try it this way and then see if we like it. Try it the other way, see if we like it, and it's like, and it gets down to like the micro details of just like, well, what if we went to F instead of F sharp here? And we play
Mm.
it both ways and we sit there for a minute like, okay, all right. And then we do it the other way and we're like, okay, all right. and then we tried a couple of different ways, and that's kind of what happens. You know, oh, yeah, my cats might enter the frame at certain points.
That's fine. So, touching on that, Ryan and Chris, you guys have been together the longest in this. Is that just with Dara, or were you guys in another project before this?
No, that goes way back. So me and Chris went to high school together, and we actually met the summer before high school.
Oh, cool.
And we were at an open mic, and since that point, we just played in, if not, 2/3 of the bands, every other band that we've been in besides that. So from different styles to blues rock and other things, all the way to becoming the prog outfit that we are now.
That's very cool, man. And was every band, I mean, not every band is instrumental, right? Like you guys had other bands that you did, or was everything just consistently like writing the instrumental tracks?
No, it's just as varied as our music tastes. There was a little bit of everything.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Like in this indie rock thing, and then we were in a blues band, and and then what else, Ryan?
It's too much to even count at this point.
Yeah.
So, that kind of leads to another question that I have for you guys is, how long have you been playing music?
I think we just passed 10 years.
No, not
Together?
yet. Not yet.
Is it not 10 years? Not yet? Or
Not
like
yet.
eight?
No.
8 maybe?
Yeah, it's like between 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about
Yeah,
his? What about his?
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, because I remember it as like, maybe like a year or two after I started at Boston Rollins was like pretty much when we got the band together, and I've been with Boss for this is now going on 11 years. So I think we're getting close to a decade at this point. So
Yeah, somewhere around there, I think. But there's more of the so the first time I guess like the before the band started, Austin and Ryan invited me to jam with them one time, and that was the first time we ever played together. And so we just sort of like just played like whatever we kind of thought of at the moment. It was all like improv stuff, and two things were apparent. One was that there was some chemistry there, and the second thing was that I needed to get my shit together. So that was like very, very obvious right off the bat. And I was like, you know what, this is going to be a good thing. So everyone was kind of like doing other things. These guys were in a different band at the time. I was not in a band at that point, but just, life was lifing.
Yeah.
And then we got together again. And this time around, we had a drummer, and that was Chris. And so that's sort of where we were like, oh, like let's try to like figure each other out kind of thing, right? And so they were like, just that's sort of where like the ambiguity comes from. So when it started, and there were like phases where like we didn't really like kind of get together as often. There was a time when like Chris was living in DC for like a couple months. Pandemic stole like a couple years from too, so it's like all that. That's sort of where like that number is like a little iffy.
So what about as individuals? Like how long have you guys been individually playing music?
oh, Jesus. I think I'm on 18 years.
If
I'm
we're
close
just
to like 18 or 17, somewhere around there. But I met most of these guys through working at Sam Ash. I got a job at Sam Ash in Huntington, and that's where I met Ryan. And Kay was one of my customers that I could actually talk to for hours and not want to rip my freaking eyeballs and ears out. And then that's when I got introduced to Chris because Ryan asked me to play in a band with them, and I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it. And that kind of set the whole friendship path of just like, oh, we all play music and this is cool. So yeah.
Like 20 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Me and Chris have been playing together for 20 years.
Pretty much.
No, I just did the math. It's been
Yeah,
20.
20. Yeah.
And then individually, I started playing like 10 years before that, so I'm at 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like Ryan's probably the one like the longest, right?
Yeah.
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 I think it's around like either 23 or 24 years for me.
Oh, cool. So you guys, I mean, you've all been doing this a long time. That's awesome. And to go to your Sam Ash comment, I, dude, I miss that store so much, but at the same time, like, I don't know, there's something about it. Like, it was a very childhood memory kind of thing because I was used to go there with my
Yeah.
dad and stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know what ended up happening to the store that they just went ass out, but that sucks, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a whole different thing with the whole Sam Ash thing. But like, I remember buying my first like real electric guitar there. Like, I saved up my allowance. That's how
Yeah.
long ago that was. Like, I had like allowance for doing chores around the house, and I saved it up to go get a USA Les Paul that like weighed like a boat anchor. And that's how I remembered that place. So then when I saw the job offer to go work there, I was like, this could be cool working in the music store because I'll just be surrounded by guitar, which I was just obsessed with.
Yeah.
So it was fun working at that store, and it was always like a very like friendly, open environment there. You
Mhm.
know, they didn't care if you walked in and kind of just like plugged in stuff and grabbed a cable or whatever. You know.
Were you working there when they did that Twisted Sister thing on the front lawn?
That I don't remember. I do have a few like interactive stories with D. Snyder, but
Yeah.
it was more like him just running into the Sam Ash at like 8 p.m., like right before we're trying to wrap everything up, and he's just like, "Guys, I need something." And I'm like, "Okay." Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So
I don't think I was there for that one, but I was definitely there for a couple of other like the open mic and jam sessions and stuff like that they were running in like the pro audio department and stuff.
so that one day they had a tent set up on the front lawn of Sam Ash, and they made this whole big deal about how Twisted Sister's gonna be there. It was pissing rain all damn day, but there's about 200 of us sitting out in the parking lot on the front lawn. Come to find out that everyone is gonna be there except for D. Snyder. And they had some rando from the crowd come up and sing like, "We're not gonna take it," and "I want to rock," and then that was it. That was the whole thing. I was like, man,
Wow.
I'm fucking furious.
It was like, I want my money back, but it was a free event. Can I have my time back, please?
Like, I feel like this is worth at least $50. Come on. And they're getting sick as hell in the rain. Like, yeah,
Right?
that was no fun, man.
Oh man, that's funny. Wow,
I
yeah.
think
Many memories of that place though.
Yeah, man, it was always a good store. And similar to you, that was the first place I ever bought an electric guitar. I bought
Yeah.
this I forget the model, but it was an Ibanez that had a Floyd Rose on it. I got so frustrated at trying to set up a Floyd Rose that I ended up selling it back.
that's
Yeah,
funny
isn't that the
because
story of every Floyd Rose guitar owner though? Like they buy their first one and then they're just like using there's some cardboard in there and throwing a block of wood under there, like, oh get this thing to stay and it never stays in tune.
Yep.
so funny thing is like um my first I guess like name brand guitar was also an Ibanez that I bought at that Sam Ash. And it also had the edge tree, like the locking tremolo thing. And
Hmm.
so that guitar, I made friends with the techs back there actually, and like I would go visit them often, and they helped me out with a lot of stuff over the years. I'm very thankful to them. Shout out JJ and Larry. Those two guys are amazing. Um, you know, Store's not there anymore, but I think they're still kind of doing their thing. But yeah, it's like it was. I think it was a different experience for me as a customer because I did not live the day that like Austin and Ryan did. Every
Mm.
time I would see them at the store, so it was like, I get to see these guys there who are like really cool to hang out with. Then I get to leave and they don't. You know, it's a different story.
It's a lot of hours.
Oh yeah, a lot of hours. Good hours though. Better
Yeah.
hours than some other customers I've interacted with. It'd be like Kay walks in, yay, someone I can nerd out on stuff with. Not have to worry about anything because it's like 7:30 and we're closing in an hour and a half. So, you know, yeah.
I've seen more happy employees at Sam Ash than I've ever seen at any Guitar Center. So,
Actually,
Yeah.
that was the reason I went to Sam Ash to begin with. I was
yeah.
looking for like I'm allergic to nickel, so I use stainless strings.
Mhm.
And they had ordered a part for me because something on a bass broke, and it took like 5, 6 months. And I was just like, all right, there's got to be a better way. So I decided to go to the Sam Ash, which was a little further from where I was living. And it was just like, it was sunny. I guess it was a nice day out.
Yeah.
And, I ended up buying a snare drum and everything else like that. But it was just kind of like, oh, this is cool. And then I started working there. So then I got both sides. I got the nice side that Kay had, and then, me and Austin were together there for a while. And that's actually how it started. He was in another band that needed a bass player. And he's like, hey, man, you want to fill in? And I was just like, oh, okay, fill in means a gig or two. And it was like, oh, no, he means for the band. So
Yep.
Yeah, no,
that
you're
was-
just in this now.
That's how you get them.
yeah.
And I
Yeah,
used
it's like
to go work and play.
So that was kind of the start of where it was like, okay, me and Austin started playing together. And then just from talking to Kay, we're like, oh, we should do something weird when that band stopped playing together. And then they're like, yeah, we should get a drummer. And I was like, I know the guy. Don't worry. And they're like, okay.
You already had it. It was already, the wheels were already turning before you even said anything.
That's cool how just working in a music store led to this whole thing for you guys,
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, baby.
So I have to ask, how did you find out you're allergic to nickel, of all things?
Playing too much bass, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was just playing, and then my hands would get like red and puffy, and then they would, it's like one of those things that the more you do it, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
So that would happen after an hour, that happened after half an hour, then 20 minutes, then 10 minutes, and then it was like, this is bad. And then I just went to an allergist and took a nickel test.
Oh. Because I would have to assume that's like kind of a shitty way to find out that you're allergic to something is like, yeah, I'm just doing what I love and then I can't do it anymore because I'm puffed up and swollen and in pain.
Yeah, to be honest, like I got lucky that it never got that bad. And it's, out of everything, it's probably one of the more super manageable things. I don't have to go into a restaurant and be worried about what I'm going to eat every single day. But, this is just like, okay, I play my own basses. I know what's on them. It's no problem.
So speaking of Sam Ash and all this kind of stuff, what kind of instruments do you guys play now?
Lately, I actually so I mentioned before I work for Roland and Boss. So I took a small advantage of my sample account and decided to order a Phantom keyboard, and I think I'm gonna buy it. I really really like it. I already use it in another band, and I've been using it for production, and now I've been kind of making riffs on it and stuff. So I've been going back to because some of us I went to college for music. I have my music degree up, but yeah, I'm going back to the piano days. Like just like remembering all the rudiments from classes and stuff like that. But other than that, I used to run a jam about almost a year ago called Funk Soup, where I was just exclusively playing funk baritone guitar with a backing band, and we'd have like a jam wheel and stuff, and we play games and everything. It was fun. Bass, acoustic guitar. I play in a duo doing just like top 40s in restaurants and stuff. And yeah, in terms of like the exact instruments though, I'm playing my two main ones you'll find me at using at a Dhara show is a Custom 22 PRS US American made and a Schecter John Brown Tau signature guitar, which has been my new favorite thing. It's bright blue. It's one of I love sonic colors for guitars, like just like sonic blue and and like Pelham and like different like Fiesta Red and things like that. So yeah, I fell in love with the look of the guitar. I had to get it, so I just got it, and yeah.
Very cool, dude. What about you, Kay?
Uh, so years ago, I put together a guitar
Oh, you
that
built one?
built is a big word. I finished and assembled, and I did the electronics and all that stuff. But it was designed to specs that I provided to a guy. It's a slab of mahogany, and it's just your standard double cut kind of like easily accessible kind of
Mhm.
Ibanez clone situation. Um, that has been my main guitar for a long time, and that's what I started playing in Dhara, and like just all the music we've recorded. That guitar's been part of that, like in a huge way. But the builder doesn't really it's really hard to like get stuff built with him these days. So I was
Mhm.
like, I kind of want to just keep this at home. So last year I built a like a Warma Jazz Master,
Okay.
kind of in the same style, like it's a natural like oil finish on a mahogany body with a top. The other one was also mahogany. I really like the sound of that wood. So that's it for like 6 strings. For 7 strings, I have one of the Strandbergs from like a few years ago. I picked one up, and I like the ergonomics of it all. And it's one of the Bowden original 7 from I guess like 2018 or something is when I bought it. Um, yeah, so that's kind of like mostly what I use live. We do have a few songs where the 7 string gets used.
Mhm.
Mostly we write stuff on the 6. 7 comes into play if it's like necessary. Otherwise we just leave it alone. And then I got a couple others lying around. Like I have an Ibanez Talman that I just happened to find on Reverb a few years ago. That guitar and my first like custom, um, they sit like really well like next to each other.
Mhm.
So if I'm like recording, doing demos or whatever, like they complement each other like really well. So those get used. And outside of that, like like a lot of the soundscape stuff we use like is kind of done in the box with like plugins and stuff for me. So like just I have like a MIDI controller I've owned for 10 years, and just like you know plugins and sort of soundscaping stuff that I do in the DAW is kind of what we end up sort of utilizing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's that's it for me in instruments right now.
So, what tuning would you consider to be too low for a 6 string? Like, at what point do you switch over to your 7?
Um, so the funny thing is, like for the 7, we have a song in A, and my 7 string can handle drop A, so I kind of just you bring that on for that song.
Hmm.
Then we have another song that's in like drop tuning. It's an open uh it's D80 F sharp AE, and then the song has a chorus where like the A chord is like really huge, and
Hmm.
so it's for just that part that low A actually comes into to the picture and just like really makes the song like bigger. And it's funny because like I learned that recording the demo of the song. I was like, oh shit, the sound actually sounds really good here. Maybe I should start doing this live. Because for years we played that song just on the 6 string. Um, but to answer your question, I feel like drop C is probably like the lowest I'd go, because like after that you're kind of running into like heavier gauges, and like
Hmm.
I'm very neurotic with like intonation.
Okay.
It's the reason that I chose to build guitars instead of buying stuff off the shelf, because I wanted to spec it exactly in the way that I wanted, and I wanted the tuning stability I wanted, and
Hmm.
you know like string spacing and all that stuff, and so yeah, I think like drop C is probably the lowest I'd go, and then you could take that C and drop that down to an A to do like a Macedon tuning,
Yeah.
which I do for my own fun often. But yeah, I think drop C is probably where I'd call it.
And Brian or Chris, what about you guys? What's your weapons of choice? Or Chris, for you, I guess it would be brand of choice.
Um, right now I'm playing a DW. I have like the only thing weird I think on my set are Daryl symbols. Um, but the ride's K, you know.
Hmm.
It's hard at this level sometimes because like you can't always play your kit,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
Um, but if I had a choice, I think in the future though, I would like to get like some kind of Babinga set of some, if I had the choice. Just for that tone is really nice. And a lot of stuff nowadays kind of like you can get like everything's pretty much the same, and but like that's like one thing that's kind of special. I mean, I got that from Bron Daler from Math. That's what,
Mhm.
he'll rock those, and those sound good. But I don't currently play them, so I don't know what I'm saying. But I do have a cool like this like Vista Light like clear DW set when I can actually play with uh with my shells. So
Awesome. What's the build of it like? Is it like more of a basic kit, or do you have like one of the crazy double bass kits with 37 racks and shit? Like,
no, I have a double bass pedal, but not double basses or anything like that. Like if I had a choice, I would like a five, but usually I go with four just
mhm.
because of space.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'm adding more symbols as time goes on. Like I have a stack, like which I never had before, and two crashes, a ride, and that's basically it. In the future, maybe we'll do SPDS X on top of that somewhere. And but right now, no, I don't have that. That's about it. Pretty basic.
Cool, man. Ryan, what about you, dude? What are you playing nowadays?
So with Dhara, I play a Yamaha TRB JP2, so a John Petitucci six string. Um, I have a Barlini set of Barlini pickups in there and a Glock and Clang preamp. Going through some Renin cuff pedals primarily, some pitch effects, and then I'm going into a Fender Super Bassman 300, and then some Harkey cabinets.
Simple.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
That's cool, man. Um, so now you had mentioned you can't use your own drums at most of the shows you guys play. Um, like I'm assuming like when you rehearse, you get to use your own stuff, but what is something, and this is coming from a local band point of view here, what's something that when you walk into a show and you see the setup that you're like, ah, shit, that's what I got to deal with tonight? Like, what's your fear story with that?
We try to make sure, like, make sure that doesn't happen by bringing a lot of our own stuff. But we're pretty good at managing that. Like these guys can speak more to that. Thank God we don't need like we don't need a PA. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'll leave it to you guys.
I think outlets is the
Outlets.
biggest
It's an
one right
outlets,
now.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
lack of outlets is like the thing that gets us the most. Um, if you've been to a Dara show, you've probably seen our light setup at this point. Um, and like we're trying to keep like the power to the light separate from power to amplifiers, just because the crossover sometimes injects a ton of noise.
Hmm.
And we're an instrumental band, so like a lot of times like the amplifiers are like all that the audience is going to hear, that and drums, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We generally try to set up things in a way that we don't have to rely on the PA too much. We try to balance the two guitars with each other and make sure
Yeah.
they're audible with bass and drums together, and like that kind of thing is it started from just like we're a local band, we got to just try to sound good with just what we have before anything else gets into play. And I think like um that's sort of where like we started doing it. And it's like sometimes you're like, okay, so there's two outlets next to each other, one of them is on one circuit, and then the other one is on like a circuit that's in the next room. And you get these massive ground loops, and the second you stand in front of your amp, they're just like, eh.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not
So,
we're not just thinking about audio because like we our light show we have 4 7-foot towers and we're adding more like we're adding movable headlights too now. So we're bringing that to the show.
That's
Um,
cool.
there's a lot of outlets, you know.
Oh yeah. It's a big giant mega system that like is yeah, it can get heavy to manage, but like we're usually pretty proactive when it comes to figuring out what we're gonna do before a show comes up, you
Mhm.
know. I think for me I'd have to agree with Kay on the whole electric thing. Is like the last thing I want to do is like my foot's on a pedal and then and then I accidentally touch a mic stand and I'm holding the strings of the guitar and then I'm the ground connection between those two circuits. And that just doesn't feel fun at all. It kind of scares the shit out of you. But but there's that and honestly just like space. I mean like Ryan's wireless most of the time, so like he runs out into the crowd and whatever, and I will probably be joining him because I'm a little jealous that you leave me on stage, buddy. But yeah, just like because we go ape on stage. We try to have like as much like good stage presence as possible. So having
Mhm.
space to do that is definitely appropriate for that.
Yeah, I play a long bass, and I don't want to take anyone out. I've gotten I've gotten a guitar to the eyelid before. I'm not going to say who did that
I'm
gag,
sorry about that.
but yeah.
The
But I mean,
twist,
it's
the twist, it
part
was
of
me.
what it is.
The twist, it was me, the drummer. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, wireless is kind of the way to go on stage. I haven't played in a bit, but I used to only use wireless, and I just found my wireless pack and like doesn't work anymore, so I have to throw it out. Now I have to deal with fucking cables on stage in a couple of weeks, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Once you go wireless, it's hard to go back to the wired thing and
Yeah.
be like, oh.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
it's an actually miserable experience having to go back to wired. There's no freedom in it.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So, what do you guys have coming up? Like, do you guys have any shows around here?
So in terms of us playing, like live, so I remember I told you about how this premiere of Elemental 4 is also a movie.
Oh,
It's not just a concert. So although like the movie is like technically a concert live, it's with the dancers instead of like just the band, like telling the story.
hmm.
So for us playing just as a band. We don't have anything lined up right now, but we are working on getting some shows together for app post release of this album. But we officially got first date for premiering the
Don't
movie
not
aspect of
yeah, don't say the date yet. It's soon.
Okay.
Don't
It's there.
say
It's there. It's
yeah.
there. It's there. So
It's soon. It's soon.
yeah.
We're waiting on a confirmation email.
We want like yeah, but it's pretty much in stone.
Yeah, it's pretty much in the bag, but we'll be posting about all that and stuff and like making a big stink about it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
when you guys get
follow along.
details, well, yeah, I already follow you guys, but when you get the details for it, let me know, and I'll make sure that I shout it out and do what I can to help you guys out with that too.
We had our first post
Appreciate it.
kind of today about
Yeah.
it, like coming soon. So if you look at our Instagram, there's our new band ambassador. I won't go into it. Just wait till the end. That's
Yeah.
the teaser. But yeah, you can find it there.
Yeah, I'll have to check when we're done. I had to do something I've never done before. I had to do a reaction video today.
Mm.
So a friend of mine asked me to do it for his band's new single that's coming out Friday, and I have a hard time saying no. So I was working on that from fucking 9 o'clock in the morning till basically we signed on.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
With
Well,
little
good.
breaks to make sure that we're set for tone it in between. But Yeah, I'll have to check out the Instagram and take a look and see the preview and stuff. That's very exciting. I don't know too many bands that do this kind of stuff, so it's
No
very
one
intriguing to
does.
me.
That's why it's weird.
Yeah.
No one like we're a low like we're not huge, so doing something like this is like very odd. You know, we're hopefully that like that'll like things will get better and you know not better, but like it gets some more attention.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that's the
I
goal,
think
right?
Was that?
That's the goal, right? Like
Oh yeah, sure.
no one ever does this just for fun. Like you want to see where it goes, if it can go somewhere. And this is a good
I think
opportunity.
one thing for us was like it was kind of like a good way to challenge ourselves.
Mhm.
'Cause, local shows, sometimes they go well, sometimes they don't. You kind of have to like sort of you just have to be like thick-skinned and take it and, take
Right.
things in stride as we kind of go. But I feel like we started to get um, some traction the second we mentioned this concept to the people that we see at our shows, right? And it was also just like this undertaking took us, well, like the bulk of like 10 months of working like every weekend to get it done in one way or another.
Yeah.
Um, because it was still like a complete DIY approach. Like Chris's mom made the costumes. We bought masks at Austin that like molded to the dancers like faces, so it was comfortable for them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, built the set pieces ourselves. We programmed the light show with help from Joe Rubino. Shout out, he's cool.
Yes.
Um, Actually, all the guys at West Industry Studios were a huge, huge help in making this
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, big shout
Um,
out to Rob and Kai for doing the capture and the video and all that stuff. So yeah,
Yep.
we basically did like a DIY kind of crew, and this was kind of ignited by an art grant that we had applied for through the Huntington Arts Council, and we found out we won.
Very
So
cool.
we basically use that as kind of like the supercharged starter to basically create the concept and push forward with the whole thing, because we had some startup, which was
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, and that really helped focus us, to get stuff done and yeah, and we're really excited to like I feel like this has been like in the editing part and the mixing has been going on for like 2 years.
Mhm.
So to like get this out finally is it's gonna be like I'm very excited to see what people think.
and also, like we kind of challenged ourselves a little bit in terms of the timeline with it
Mhm.
as well, because like I think we gave ourselves, I think, like 6 weeks to record demos of all the music that was gonna go, and then like all the composition that went into like the themes and interludes to stitch it into like a whole show with like it's not just like the 10 songs and there's silence in between. There was like a lot of music that like went into making it like a full theatrical kind of performance. So like composing that, recording everything, making it sound not shitty, at home with like bare bones setup and like just trying to get it all done. Like it was a quick turnaround, and like we all have day jobs that we had to go to, and so it was like everything
Right.
was only done on weekends. So it was like just the sequence of everything would like the ballerinas started working after we gave them all the music, and then like I think the first time we saw the four of us met the ballerinas together was like maybe 7 or 8 days before the show.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That was like our first rehearsal with them.
Wow.
And so it was kind of like, it was interesting to see like how, with the exception of Claire, like the other people were like complete strangers to us, but they like embodied all this music super well.
They were like us. Like each Claire chose like
Yeah.
like every member was exactly like their counterpart, and she knew what she was doing. She's like, yeah,
And
like duh.
yeah, Claire was very, very good at
Yeah,
picking the dancers for the characters that they were supposed to play, and like just the amount of work that they put in was also like enormous, like fucking enormous. I remember like two of them were getting over sickness. This is the week of show. Two of them are getting over sickness, and the other two were starting to get sick,
Oh God.
like through the performance. And they were freaking troopers, man. It was like
Yeah.
they
Editing this, I could see the snot dripping.
Yeah.
it was a huge deal to like kind of get it all like done in the time frame that we like we had like, and it was like the date's set, like everything's locked in, we got to go and just make it happen.
Yeah.
And we were surprised, like both we did two performances in one night and they were both sold out, which was
That's incredible.
crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was like the craziest thing for me. I was like, I'm
I
like
can't
maybe
believe we did
like
that.
friends will go.
I can't believe we did that live because pressure was on. Because it's not like, hey, it's a set, which probably we should have done. Because they did yeah, but like a couple of things went wrong. Nothing like terrible that like changed much, but it definitely adds an element, and you can kind of hear it even in our playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was little hiccups here and there, but I think through everything, I think we pulled off a really, really good performance, which was basically we did 3 takes of the entire thing
Wow.
nonstop all the way through to a click track. So we only had 3 shots to record this record.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And then we comped it, then
but
we comped it all together. So it worked out really, really well. And the performance that you're hearing on that record is pretty much the natural way you would hear us if you walked in and heard us live.
well,
Yeah.
it's not even like it is the performance that happened. It's capturing that the comping we did was not even like true comping. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
we like this
Like,
section from this take better.
Yeah.
So the entire band gets
yeah.
dropped in from like, okay, we're putting this from this take in here. And like it's
Yeah.
because the video
Yeah,
was
'cause
also recorded for like the two performances.
Mhm.
So it was like, oh, the video is using this clip, so we got to go to that take and then just
Yeah.
pop that on. And that's sort of
yeah.
how, like, that's the comping.
It's kind of
Yeah, it
weird
was a
'cause,
lot.
like,
It was
it's
a little
Yeah,
bit
it's
of
like,
coordinating for sure. Like I would definitely say Phineas has got more on comping than me in this record. So for sure. But
When you think about it, really, what could possibly go wrong? We're just recording a live album with a bunch of music that's not in 4/4. We're adding dancers to people who are sick or getting sick. We've only added a light show with a whole bunch of lights we never had. And probably about trying to wrangle a live film crew at the same time as having a crowd of people there. I mean, it's cake.
It's
I don't see why everyone
It's
would do this
simple.
all the time.
Why was I having panic attacks constantly?
Yeah, the amount of sleep lost, I don't understand it.
oh, the amount of sleep, like the amount of sleep, like the night before was counted in minutes on like 10 fingers, I guess.
No, but it worked out. It worked out.
yeah,
So when did this go down?
2 years ago.
November
2 years ago. Wow.
11th of 2023
And where did you guys do this?
at West Industry Studios. They're also known as Viola Media.
Okay.
Over in Deer Park, and our buddy Rob was one of the engineers, one of the audio engineers there. And I had been interacting with him for a while because we sat on jam sessions together, we've played shows together, and I found out he worked at the studio, which is basically just a big warehouse space that they kind of like carved out a control room into. So it's like a very large space that they're kind of like doing a lot of things with right now. And yeah, we utilized that space to the best that we could. We, decked it all out with like all the lights and everything. And yeah, it came together really, really smoothly after I asked Rob, like, hey, what could we do to make this happen? Because I want to be able to audio and video record this entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, then Rob and Chris were talking a little bit more in detail, and we ended up figuring that that's the best spot to do this at,
That's really cool. I'm surprised I didn't know anything about this. I live right over in like West Islip Deer Park area. So it's kind of
wow.
like right in my backyard, and I had no idea that you guys were doing this. Did you keep it
The,
private? Was this like a publicly promoted
no,
thing or?
we tried to promote the hell out of it, but
Yeah.
we tried.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Things
had
here in the
I made
South
like
End
a
side.
CG. I made like I'm a CG artist by trade. So I
Oh,
even
cool,
made
man.
like it looked like a like a CG like thing telling the story, like beginning of the story. I released that. We had a bunch of ads on it. It's just hard to get stuff out there, I guess.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think like
Yeah.
that, that's like a challenge. It's like it's hard to tell like, you can create something and try to push it, but is it reaching people is like a whole other story right now. It has
Yeah.
been for we don't it's difficult to gauge that, and especially like like some of the shows we've played on the island were fantastic. Like the places are packed and it's good, and then like online it's just like you have no clue like what.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like there's a correlation between the two anymore, and it's very odd.
Yeah.
Come to the premiere.
Yeah.
I'll let you know
Yeah.
when.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see where this goes with you guys. This is such a cool thing. Um, and the fact that you guys have been doing this for over 2 years, like that's really it shows the dedication. It shows that like you guys are really about this. So, um, yeah, let me know every bit of when this is happening, and I'll be there. That's awesome, man.
Yep.
Um, so now is there going to be a part two to this story, or is this kind of just a one and done for this ballet?
It's very it's very uh, there's bookends, there's one story and that's
Okay.
it. It's no sequel. We might do this type of thing again with a
Hmm.
different story, a different aesthetic, a different way of doing it. And we kind of talked a little bit about that, but this stuff always takes a long time to figure out, and
Yeah.
we have to write more songs too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one big thing is like this story. The nice thing about it was it was self-contained,
Hmm.
and I without really giving away much because
Yeah,
I do.
don't give away.
Yeah, I don't want to like spoil it for people, but I think like it was self-contained, and there was um, the music that kind of went into it was like we were very determined to like make it feel sort of complete.
Hmm.
You keep you into um, that headspace for the entire performance, and I feel like uh, it it contains a lot of music, but so we were like it was good to just like have it be this one cohesive thing, and then we'll figure out what the next thing is going to be like if we want to touch this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kay, you said it's like a chapter. It's like a chapter of this band, kind of like we're just turning the page, and it's got like all the songs we've basically ever wrote, and just
There.
telling a
Yeah.
story.
And there was a lot of
Kind of
like
our story, a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah,
in some ways, yeah.
a little bit.
I think like there was a lot of stuff we learned by doing this,
Hmm.
and I think we like one thing with us has been like our songs sometimes sort of like don't sound anything like the early songs. Sometimes
Hmm.
it's like, oh, this is its own thing because it's just where we are right now. And I think like we're at this point we're kind of just like at that next phase. We're like, okay, this Elemental Four album concept is like kind of done. Where are we now? And like that's sort of where like that's what we're like looking forward to is to see like where that goes
Hmm.
essentially.
That's cool. I love that I'm finding out about this on the podcast too, by the way.
I'll definitely send you something after it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is absolutely not the getting to connect with you guys again kind of conversation that I thought it was gonna be. This is so intriguing. This is very, very cool shit. So, is this something that you see yourselves kind of leaning into a little bit and trying to go to different places putting on this production, or is this meant for just a film release after
I'm,
the initial?
We want
I
to.
am I am all for team take the nine of us on tour and then we just go and rent out like huge like theaters and we do like a weekend premiere in your city of just running this show for like days on end. You know, that'd be like that would like basically like a Broadway show that
Yeah.
we take on the road with us. That's like my pipe dream
Yeah.
idea of something like this. But obviously to like get something like that rolling, like for us to do it once, it was already like, oh my God. And you know, and obviously it wouldn't be for the audio recording or the video recording of any of it, even though I want it. It's still like it still needs like capital and fuel and
Yeah.
everything for these type of
Hang
bigger
on. Let me let
projects and
me
stuff.
let me just dig into these cushions, see if I got any change on them.
Yeah, I think I got a couple bucks under the mattress.
And like, like I kind of it looks great and I'm really proud of it, but in my head it's like, oh, this is kind of like, oh, this is the proof of concept for the actual thing. Like if we had like more resources, whatever, we'd have more dancers, bigger stage, more like, intricate set pieces and stuff like that. But I'm very proud of like what we did with this, and it's really great. It really looks really, really good. It's kind of like the way that it was shot and edited and like color corrected is kind of like reflects our sound. I feel like a lot of like the prog scene is it's a very clean thing.
Hmm.
Like even the visuals are like usually shot on like red cameras or something like super like the fidelity is high. And this I kind of like wanted to capture like a little more filmic type vibe, you
Hmm.
know? And I don't mean like cinematic. I mean like a little bit more grain, a little bit, uh like not like deeper colors a little bit too,
Hmm.
but not like super saturated, you know? So, yeah.
So it's not like a high resolution what you would go to the movies and typically see. It would be kind of like almost like an
No, it's
older
super.
film.
Film is like it's equivalent like 4K, like
Hmm.
film back in the day. It's like that, but there's some grain to it. There's a little bit of grit, like a little bit of bloom. Like I tried everything I could to like replicate film without having it actually shot on film. Like we used FX3s basically.
Hmm.
Um, you know, if I had a choice, there'd be like Ari or something like that, but that's not happening. You know, you know.
That's cool. I'm super excited about this for you guys. That's that's really really great. Um, and man, it's killing me not knowing the date. Um,
I'll tell you after. Tell you
yeah,
Yeah,
after.
for sure. When you guys get it locked in, let me know for sure.
Yeah.
we'll absolutely do that.
So now in terms of you guys like hitting a stage again, do you anticipate any just we're gonna go play at Shakers anytime soon? I know you said you're looking to do some stuff like maybe late this year, early next year, kind of supporting the film and stuff, but um is there any desire at this point to go back to local shows, or do you think that this is gonna be kind of your path now? Is it gonna be cinema?
I mean, we used to have a like kind of like a hometown spot for. Well, actually, we've had multiple hometown spots for us as we've kind of played over the years. You know, the first one really being Comiskey's Park over in St. James. You know, we would
Hmm.
kind of invade open mic night on Sunday night because we were all around, and that would be band rehearsal. And then we started going to this other place called Industry Makers over in Huntington, around right on Main Street, New York Ave. And that place like very quickly became the new spot for us to like play, to hang out with friends. I started my jam there and met just tons of great, awesome people there. The place is still there, but it's not the
Hmm.
same set of owners right now. So it's a little bit of a different vibe. So it's very speakeasy. Like you walk into it and it's like, and it's very like, you know, you feel like you're in Brooklyn and Huntington. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
cool.
something very on that vibe. So, and we haven't really had another place for us to really play that we can call like a second home. And we
Hmm.
want to kind of get our music out to as many people as possible. And I think I take from the Dave Grohl approach of old school rock and roll. It's just you want to get your music heard. You go out there and you play it for people. Go
Right.
out and put on it. You don't just because like when Dara like we when we do a show, we don't play a show. We like put on a show.
Yeah.
So it's like when you go to see it, it's like a full production as much as we can take it. You know, so it's an experience that we like want to take around and just bring it to other places besides Long Island, which
Hmm.
has been a great support for us from everything in the beginning and stuff. We'll always call Long Island our first home for playing shows and everything. But like I think for the future of this record and this band, I think like our big approach to next year is kind of just playing a little bit more outside of our reach and kind
Yeah.
of seeing where it goes, like getting into Jersey and Philly and Boston and a couple more. We've done a couple of like out of state shows like in all like or like kind of like further distance shows like in Albany and
Hmm.
Connecticut and places like that. So we want to do a lot more of that. But yeah, honestly, if any bookers and promoters are listening, we are definitely available. So just saying, I just want to drop that Easter egg in there for everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation with Long Island because this scene kind of even flows, you know. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's real good for local music and for art and performance and stuff, and then there's other times where it kind of just takes a big shit and you can't get people to appreciate what you're
Yeah.
doing on a stage. Um, and I feel like that
Yeah.
kind of goes with industry trends and it goes with like what are you doing to promote the show and
Right.
there's so much shit that goes into it.
It's a fight. It's a
Yeah.
fight. It's a
Yeah.
fight on Long Island.
Well,
A lot of the places that like we cut our teeth on are like a lot of it went away, especially like after the pandemic. But it
yeah.
keeps and it was just trying to find places like that. It's difficult, but the bands on Long Island are so talented and good, and it's hopefully they get the right exposure and but it is a
See,
fight.
that's the crazy thing about it is that there is so much talent on this island, but it's the consumer that's not consuming it, you know?
Yeah.
Like some shows out here do very well. Some will pack a bar, pack a club wherever they go. But you know, there's a lot of times where it's like kind of a struggle to get people out to shows again, and it's you know, people are not consuming media the way they used to. So I think
Yeah.
Well,
that
even to the places that used to have something where you can go every Friday and know there was a band playing.
yeah,
Even those ones are struggling. Mr. Beery's has less than a year and a half left at this point.
yeah,
So it really is just like, when you have to go back and not just say, hey, where have we played, but more where can we play?
right.
It makes it hard.
AMH is set up very nicely now, thankfully, and hopefully that
Yeah.
provides some longevity to that club because it's been seven different clubs, in a very short amount of time.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Some of us are old enough to remember VP South.
Yes, sir.
VP South.
Oh yeah, Broadway Bar. It was one in between
Yeah.
VP and Broadway Bar, and then it became AMH, and then now with the new renovations to the place, because we just recently played there a couple of months ago over the
Hmm.
summer, and great
Yeah.
stage, great sound. The place got so much bigger. There's like
Yeah.
room to move around. I'm not going to hit my headstock against the main speaker that's directly to my left. So yeah, it's really nice. And like, for people that are like, well, where do I go on Long Island to go see like original music or just like good music? I would definitely start there.
Hmm.
Is definitely a good spot to go to like currently. And then that can take you to a bunch of different places.
Yeah, for sure. But in terms of you guys though, unfortunately, but fortunately for you, because there's only so much you can do with a production like that on Long Island. Um, I feel like before you would find yourself getting a more of a draw on the island, you'd be in like Williamsburg. You'd be trying to reach outward to Jersey, like you said, to Philly, to all these different places. Different exposure to different markets. But if you're bringing a theater show, that's going to be something to see. That's going to be more of a production. That's going to be oh, well, I got to go check this out kind of thing, which is another thing that so many bands I feel like don't really get is that you have to bring a show to your performance. It can't just be like,
Mm.
oh yeah, we're four dudes playing music on stage, because people are gonna forget that shit by the time the next band goes on. You know,
Yep.
you want to give them something to remember, something they're gonna take their phone out and be like, oh, that was fucking cool, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, you guys get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to embody that even when we don't have the dancers or anything super crazy. Like, we always try to be like, okay, is this where we're bringing the towers? Are we bringing
Mhm.
the light towers with us? Because like that's like already a sight in
Yeah.
itself. Because all the
Yeah.
lights are synced to the music and accents of different players, and it's like it's very visually appealing.
Yeah.
Especially with all the music and the sonic sound going on, and our sets are there's really no breaks in our set. Like all
Mhm.
our sets are basically all one giant stream of music. So there's really no breaks. So when you get an experience like that, it's like it's really powerful, even if it is only like 40, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like, I went to a different place. you know?
It's like an hour now.
Yeah.
It's like an hour now. We would to the point to like everyone that to like I think the point everyone just shared. I think the big thing for us from early on was like, what's the most like Dara thing that we could do? And it was like for a while it was just exploring what it was, and that sort of like came from just like, okay, odd times can be danceable,
Mhm.
and that's how that's going to be. And then it was like, okay, there can be ambient parts and heavy parts in the same song, and people will not know, like that it's the same song or whatever. Or we can have a continuous set with like segues leading from one song to the next, and like that's just how it is. And then the lights we built to like the show that we built on on top of those lights and kind of like everything. So like because a lot of it is also like we don't want to be bored up there.
Right.
We want to have fun doing this, and I feel like it's just um people have responded well to this. People have responded, uh, I guess, like much more emphatically than I ever imagined they would. Because I was always like, oh, we're just gonna do this thing for us, and like that's good enough for me. But then it was like, shit, other people like this too. Holy crap! Like I didn't know that. Um, but I think it's just like we want to keep doing that. We are still open to just you know playing a local show with our peers around. I think that would be fun. Um, for me, it's just like I enjoy playing. I think we all do, and it's like like there was a time, and I think like pre-pandemic, it was a completely different scene
Mhm.
than it is post-pandemic. Partially because the venues are not the same anymore, and I feel like people have a little more apprehension about like going out. Like I don't know if people are quite coming out in droves as they used to before, which
Mm.
Mm.
It
it's
depends
just
on
a
the
whole.
show.
It does depend on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there were times when you would expect like, oh, if you don't see people at one show, it's because they're at this other show that's
Yeah.
happening at the same time in a different town or something.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah.
like, nope,
Yeah,
they're
you
both
kidding me
there.
about the traffic on this island? Trust me, with the traffic on this island, there's plenty of people to go to everybody's shows.
Yep.
But in all honesty, it's like, the scene's a little bit. I think the scene has taken a hit from just how things are, and like we're just trying to still like recalibrate to all this.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what does the name Dara mean? Where'd you come up with that name?
Um, it's a Hindi word for stream,
Cool.
and it like we didn't have a name for like a few months after we got together and started playing. It was just we were joking around for a while, and then when we started to think about it seriously, like I came up with the name because it like the music signified like ebb and flow.
Mhm.
Like that was kind of like what was very obvious from the get-go. So I thought this would be a good way to uh, just like make it permanent.
That's cool. It's a very unique name, so I wanted to ask you guys about that. Um, but it's cool that it has a symbolic meaning. It's that's a very cool name. Like, so many band names. Like, you guys are different. Like, as a band, you're very set from the rest of local bands, for musicians in general. You're kind of doing your own thing, which is a really cool thing, but you have a very unique perspective on your music. You have a very unique mindset on how the band is. And I feel like, if you said it means stream, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how you set your live show too, is that it's a continuous stream of things. It's cool that it's very symbolic for you guys. But it does, this whole thing sets you guys a league ahead of a lot of your peers in this scene, so it's cool to see. It's cool to know that someone's actually taking their art and making it art. It's very performative. So
This thing that we want to do, like my outlet musically is just all of this, like everything I ever wanted to do
yeah.
as a kid, like I just put it in there and try to make it happen. It's important to us, I think, to have like there has to be like a package and a concept behind and a reason for everything that we're doing.
Mhm.
And it's just a lot of fun too. It's just a
Yeah.
lot of fun. So
Yeah, I would imagine it's hard work, but the payoff
Yeah.
has got to be great for something like this.
I like
All the
watching it after more.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the blood, sweat, and tears is always worth it, man. It's
Yeah.
always super worth it because you get that freaking Instagram clip of somebody going freaking ape, like just being like, "This is so cool," and then you're like, That's what made it worth it. Just doing all that work for that dude right there. That's what makes it worth it. So, yeah,
I feel like this is something that would appeal largely to like the Dream Theater crowd, you know?
yeah,
Actually, my favorite thing, more so than respect from nerds, which I do still appreciate, is that so many people who prog is not their music say that they still really enjoy listening to us.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that we've gotten love from the Dream Theater crowd, but also from, regular rock and rollers versus people who listen to pop and things like that, and they're all just like, yeah, this is cool, I like this, is kind of the biggest compliment to me.
The one weird thing, and I don't mean this, like and I'm very surprised by this, is we have a lot of girl fans.
Really?
yeah. We always look at our analytics, and it's like third, like 25 to like 40% like women, and I'm like,
Damn.
okay.
I think it's all for K.
I don't think so. No. Listen, it's rhymes someone dancing. That's what does it for everybody.
Yeah,
Gets everybody going. But no, it is kind of like it is a little. It was kind of like pleasant surprise, I guess. Like just being at shows, it's like, oh shit, like there's a lot of girls here. Like it's like, do you know anyone here? Like who are you? Who are they here with? Like that was, that's the first question we thought of, because like we don't know these people.
They're just like this to K.
That's an exaggeration.
Yeah,
So-
they always grovel and stage right, man.
I'm sure that you guys have heard that Brush is doing a few shows, right?
I just heard that yesterday.
I saw that today. I saw that they got a new drummer and everything. And
Yeah, so the joke that came around very quickly, since they have a female drummer, is that there'll finally be a female at a Rush show.
Might be true.
I never heard of her before, but I saw a couple of videos and she is ridiculously good.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
She
Oh, she used to play
fucking
with
rips,
Jeff Beck.
dude.
She used to play
I
with
was
Jeff
so
Beck.
blown away.
It's bonkers. Like she was on tour with Jeff Beck for like I think like a few years, and like he's he's like he was in a league of his own. So like people playing with him are also in a league of their own. Like he's bonkers good. And the other, speaking of Rush again, like I just I watched the stuff they came out with yesterday, like late last night, and uh, seems like they're gonna have a keyboard player so that Getty can just like be free to just hang out with
Mm.
Alex for a change instead of being
Okay.
confined to a corner.
See, my whole concern with the Rush reunion is not even that they're getting a new drummer. It's the fact that the last time we heard Getty play live, he couldn't sing.
Hmm.
He was
I
like
mean,
real bad last time.
they
Yeah.
are getting up there, and I think it's only like a few dates, and they said it's not going to be like 3 hour shows like they've been doing for 40 years.
Yeah.
So like maybe that would be a little better.
I would assume that they have to lay some sort of vocal processing on him. They would have to,
I don't think they
because
will. They're Rush. They're not going to do that.
he,
That's like it's like against their whole ethos.
I mean, he sounded
You
like
know?
the fucking Cowardly Lion the last time they played.
Yeah,
Ooh.
still,
But I mean, it's still Rush, dude. Like I was lucky enough to see them on Snakes and Arrows, so I don't
that's a
feel
good
like I
album.
need to go to the Garden show, but it's probably gonna be so expensive too.
Oh yeah.
A ticket
What
like
isn't?
that with only like what, 6 shows across the country, like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's gonna go for a high price for sure.
But I'm almost intrigued enough to at least like go see the girl play, because for someone who 2 days ago I never knew existed, like I'm a drum nerd at heart, dude. Like I gotta I gotta get more in on this, but um yeah, I don't know. Are you guys planning on going to that? Are you into Rush at all?
I wish I was more into Rush to want to go
Yeah.
because it would be super awesome. But currently I'm already tapped out for shows. Like I'm already going to see the Minnesota 20th anniversary tour from Minus the Bear.
Oh, cool.
Because like in terms of musical influences, I would definitely say Minus the Bear is a big one for me
Yeah.
in terms of like all the looping stuff that Dave Cutson does on stage. I do that stuff on stage as well. But like to like see them do that album, like the CD that got trapped in my car for like 6 months that I listened to endlessly. And it's just, I want that sound. I want to be that sound. And yeah, and I get to hear that record like all the way through again. Sign me up.
That's awesome. Any of you other guys, like, you into Rush at all? I know you all have like a very deep prog background and they're there, but if
I would say for me, it's funny you mentioned Snakes and Arrows because like that that was the album that I was like, oh shit, this is cool. Like it's just like I heard like Malignant Narcissism and I was like, okay, all right, this is different. And that's the first time I heard Rush, like ever. No one had really shown me any Rush before that. And then so it was like, um, I'm trying to remember the name of the single from Snakes and Arrows. What it's called? I can remember I remember the drum beat and the big F sharp chord, and I can't remember the damn name of the song. But it's from Snakes and Arrows, and then yeah, so I did, from there went to Moving Pictures and a bunch of other albums and kind of like I appreciate them. I've never seen them live. I might go. I'm not sure yet. This year's
Mhm.
been really bad for me with like shows. I missed like every show. I was like, oh, I should go to that, and then like it happened. I'm like, God damn it!
Same dude.
It's been bad. It's like been terrible because like I found out Deftones played the Garden the morning after.
Oh God.
Um, Missed the Meshuggah show. Missed Tesseract. Missed Mastodon. They came to Connecticut. I live in Connecticut now. So missed that. Missed Russian Circus like 2 weeks ago. They played in Brooklyn. Um, Probably
Forgot
three or
about
four
that.
other
Damn
things.
it.
Yeah, I'm actually upset about that. Like I'm salty. I missed that.
I'm getting more upset just listening to all the shows that I missed because you're naming off shows that you missed that I didn't even know about.
Right?
What?
And Austin, you're
Come
missing
on.
You're missing a musical box on Saturday too.
I know.
Mm.
I'm so mad about that.
Musical box
Musical Box is
is a
beautiful.
Genesis cover band, but they like officially uh supported by Genesis, and they talked to Peter Gabriel and he gave him a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've known
Yeah,
about them for a minute. They used to play at Westbury all the time, but
Mhm.
yeah,
I didn't know that they were actually like endorsed by Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, the Genesis are like they're fully endorsed by them. They had access to all that, but they're like the Peter Gabriel kind of
Yeah.
era. So it's like seeing the actual thing. I think your dad saw both, right, Austin? And he's like, yeah, it's like the
yeah.
same thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Because my dad works as a photographer at Patchogue Theater and like the
Oh,
Landmark and stuff
nice.
like that. So like, yeah, he's seen all the musical box shows and everything. So when I told him about it, he's like, "Oh, I can get you tickets for it." And I'm like, "That's great, awesome! I would totally love to see that."
It's like
Especially since
me,
like,
it's me and
oh,
Austin and a bunch of 70-year-olds.
yep. Yeah, I definitely think that we're probably in that category of the youngest people in that building.
Well, that's gonna be Matt at the Rush show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's up?
That's gonna be Matt at the Rush show.
Yeah.
No, they have young. Rush has way younger fans
I
too.
know, I know.
Kind of more universe. Like no one listens to the early Genesis or anything like.
No, dude, Gabriel era Genesis is such an acquired taste.
oh my God, it's probably like the best for me. It's the best era of Genesis in my opinion because I kind of follow Peter Gabriel more so than I did like Phil Collins. Oh,
Hmm.
Phil Collins is great also in his own right, but like I just kind of just loved like Peter's approach to just like very avant-garde sounds and just ways of making songs and writing, and then the performances alone are just like so breathtakingly great. It's like this is the way to put on a show, you know?
Yeah, I never had the opportunity to see Genesis or Peter Gabriel. But they were a band that was on my list for a long time, and I missed the opportunity. So,
Yeah. I saw Peter Gabriel for the Growing Up tour
Oh
when
man,
he
so
played
jealous.
Jones Beach. And oh my God, this guy came out and he was in like a giant plastic disco ball. Like that was like literally like 6 feet, like 6 by like almost like 12 feet in diameter. And he's just bouncing on the stage of Jones Beach in a ginormous disco ball. He had like a light up suit for different stuff. He had like segways on stage. It was crazy. It
He
was
walked he
awesome.
walked upside down.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man. Seeing that show was just it was like life-changing experience. Absolute life-changing experience. I was like, music is cool. Because that was at an age where
Music
I
is
was like
cool.
I was like 12 going to like karate class and like taking cornet in middle school. So like seeing that I was like, this is awesome.
yeah, man, it's cool when you have that awakening where you're like, there's so much more to music than this little tiny bubble that I'm confined in, whether it's like marching band or learning how to play like the fucking recorder in third grade. Like it opens up so
Yeah.
many doors when you realize what music actually is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like when I was growing up listening to music, I was always listening to my mom's music, which was like a lot of like Grateful Dead and like
Mhm.
hippie bands and stuff like that. And then it wasn't until my stepdad came in the picture and kind of showed me more like the weirder underground of like rock and roll and prog rock and like all the art rock stuff and everything. And then I just kind of just fell in love with it. I was just like, this is awesome, you know. So
Mhm.
shout out to Dad for giving me a good music taste.
Yeah, dude. My parents were the same way with like, you know, different sides of the musical spectrum on it, but my dad was more along the lines of like the old classic rock and blues and jazz, whereas my mom was like, "Oh, what's on the radio?" You know? And then
Mm,
my uncle kind of got me into like the deeper shit, the Pink Floyd, the Who.
mm.
He is a huge Deadhead, but I never really latched on with the Grateful Dead. It was a band that never really they're great musicians, but it never really like made sense to me.
Yeah, like I think actually John Mayer had a talk about this, or did like some sort of interview about like what it's like to like be a Grateful Dead like listener and like playing all the music, because he's the one playing all the Dead and Company stuff, playing all of Jerry's
Yeah.
parts and like the live Grateful Dead shows now. And yeah, it's such an interesting take on it, because it's like, because yes, like the Grateful Dead is like very much a specific like type of, it's its own thing,
Hmm.
which makes them great, because they went through it. Because again, just like we're going through this whole like this is a chapter of our music that we're gonna put out and we're gonna release it as one thing. The Grateful Dead kind of did the same thing. Like when disco was big, they made Shakedown Street, and
Yep.
Shakedown Street was just a bunch of disco beats on top of Grateful Dead tunes, you know. And it's like everybody had that era, and it's the same thing with us now. So we're
Hmm.
like it's interesting to see that parallel, to be like, oh yeah, it's just the record, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I think it comes from like we might be, I don't know, but like I think the four of us do enjoy listening to full albums.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
think all four of us we've had times where as a band we've hung out and listened to an entire album together and had a great time doing it. Like that, it's just a thing that we get used to. So we that informs why the shows are connected. Like there's a whole like sequence happening there, and then that's why the opera was or the rock ballet was like a continuous thing, and that's why it's going to be put out as a continuous thing.
yeah.
So
Any
Yeah, actually,
particular albums you guys listen to together? Any favorites?
oh man, anytime Chris is over, I throw on Lambs Lie Down on Broadway, great Genesis record, or
the one that
that.
stands out for the one that stood out for me with the four of us together was we listened to The Hunter by Mastodon in Ryan's basement together one time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was early Dhara days. Like we were just kind of hanging out, like listening
Sonically,
to
that
that.
album is unbelievably, like
Oh,
unbelievable. You know.
so good.
And there have been actually there probably have been a couple other Mastodon albums that we've done together.
Yeah.
Are those albums that you guys would try to learn and jam to, or just you would put them on, listen, and just enjoy the experience?
It's kind of
Listening,
funny because like even though I come from like a mega background of like jam music, like I'm really big into like Humphreys and Mo
Hmm.
and like Twiddle and stuff like that. I like all that jam music and everything. We don't really jam as a band like I would like us to. Like I mean, and I love jamming. Like I love like like all that type of music and stuff. It doesn't work for the way we want to like structure a song and put the song together so it sounds like us. Us
Hmm.
is like it's like jamming is like kind of more of like a streaming of consciousness. Whereas like, we're like a band that's like preparing a thesis, and
Yeah.
we're just gonna read the whole thesis to you, you know? And
Hmm.
it's like and it's deep, and it can be emotional, and it can like go to all these crazy places and stuff. Whereas like jam music is kind of just more within the moment of playing. It's more within the exact moment of time being present and everything. And not like we're not present when we're playing our own music. It's just a different approach to the creation of it. Like
Right.
I'm like we like jam on things, but they're like ideas that we've already kind of formulated in an Ableton session with a whatever drum beat and like a bass line from a keyboard, and we're just
Hmm.
noodling around trying to find ideas. We just bring it to the band and hope for the best.
Right.
So in a way, we kind of do jam, but it's more very structured than just like a couple of guys playing music together in a room.
Hmm. No desire to ever just like learn some Mastodon shit and play it together, do a couple covers,
We've
or
Uh,
we've done that. We've done
we
that.
have
Yeah, yeah. We
we
do it.
did
We would
we did Blood and Thunder at a New Year's Eve show we played a few years ago.
oh, cool.
We closed out our set with that. Um, did we do any other Mastodon? We haven't really done anything else, right?
we're learning another one.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
well, we haven't done it together, but
We haven't done it together yet. We're just like kind of on our own. We've I think it's just kind of like I've put on Track the Sky and like played along to songs within there, just
Hmm.
at home by myself.
Me
Mm.
too.
Um, that it's just like every so often you just kind of because that album is like really important to me from their catalog. So I've gone down that rabbit hole many a times, and it's like a full album listen kind of a thing. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, okay, I know this riff, I can play along, and I'll just pick it up and start, you know. But yeah, it's just that sort of thing. We will this new one the next one we're doing, we still have to like play together. We haven't really done that yet, so.
Yeah. It's cool that you guys can just get together in a room, listen to an album, and appreciate it for what it is, though. That's really cool. And it shows that you guys have a really good bond together as friends as well as bandmates. I always love to see that kind of stuff.
Well, I think we're
Yeah,
friends first and bandmates second. Like
Yeah.
we've said that like
yeah,
for so long now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. We should.
these guys are all my groomsmen for my wedding last year. So,
Oh, it's so cool, man. Congrats on
Yeah,
the wedding.
and best man, Ryan, of course.
yeah.
That's awesome, guys. I love to hear this kind of stuff. It's very wholesome and it's very like it's so not what most bands are because so many bands are like, yeah, I talked to you this week, but like, where are you going to be in 3 weeks? Are you guys going to be broken up? Or are you going to be working on a new album? There's always so much like underlying tension with bands, but you guys are so just chill, down to earth. You're very cohesive. So it's a very big breath of fresh air to talk to you guys.
It was awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciated.
So before we wrap up, because we've been on almost, let's say like hour and a half, almost 2 hours now, actually. But
Wow.
I do want to ask just for anyone who is unfamiliar with your music, um, what would you say would be like the go-to song to get someone into Dara?
Hmm.
the next
Oh.
one. Sorry, I have to go
You
there.
know, that
The
kind of
next
goes so
one.
much with what I was saying earlier, in that we have people who listen to so many different things,
Yeah.
who have appreciated the music, thankfully. I honestly don't have a go to as a, oh, check this one out. I really do get to be like, well, what do you listen to? And I can find something within our songs or within the performance that would be like, okay, cool. You're into this, check out this one. You're into this, check out that one. Um, but I mean, honestly, I think the best way to experience this before our video premiere that we're talking about is
Mhm.
really just to come out to a show. We don't see a lot of people leave like they had a bad time. So I think that's the best way to get it, is just real and uncut.
I like that. It's very surprising when people see it, and it's nice they have a really good time. Yep.
Well, the time that I saw you guys play, I didn't know you. I was very unfamiliar with your music, but Nick had told me stick around, don't miss Dara. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll get there and make sure I'm there for you guys. And I was fucking floored. I didn't know what to expect, but I was so pleasantly surprised by what I heard. And I got to talk to a couple of you guys afterwards. I know Ryan, I talked to you, and I think I talked to you, Chris. Um, but yeah, it was such a cool thing to hear because it came so far out of left field that I was like, I wasn't prepared to hear an instrumental band, first of all, especially at a show like that. And I wasn't prepared to hear the musicianship that I had just heard. So that it was a very cool experience. But I would heavily encourage anybody listening to make sure that you get out to support Dara. Um, are there any songs? I'll rephrase my question from before. Are there any songs individually that you like playing? Like, what's your favorite song that you guys play that you wrote?
I think for me, it's Put a Bird on It. I think I love playing that one. We get a nice two step in there. Like it's just this really like flowy, almost like, you're driving down the freaking, you're driving down, like, just like the beach side of San Diego, California, and you're just like sunshine and good vibes and feels and stuff. So I definitely think for me that one is my most fun for sure. I think it's a tie between that and Horse Tranquilizers and Tonic, mainly because HTNT is kind of like our fastest song.
Yeah.
What's our tempo? 160 a quarter note, I think is the tempo. So I like the fast tappy math rock stuff too. But I think overall, I think Put a Bird on It is probably one of my favorites.
What about you, Kay?
Come back to me.
Okay. Ryan, what about you, dude? What's one of your favorites to play?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with it. I really just like, again, my favorite thing is I'll typically find a person or two in the audience, and I'll just look and be like, okay, I don't know you and I don't know you. We're gonna see, you don't know us. Like, what am I gonna look at? So really, my fun thing is just kind of being like, all right, let's pick up on the vibe and make sure that person has a good time. And it's a game I play, and it's fun. I don't know. I really just get a thrill of playing.
So let's put this one to the test then. The vibe you get from me. I'm wearing an Orbiculture shirt. I'm definitely more to the heavier side of metal. What would be a song that you would recommend for someone like me?
I think on you we're going Unity.
Unity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially
I think we're going a little dark, we're going a little moody, and a little punch your neighbor in a nice way at the end kind of thing.
Stab your bass player in the eye with your headstock.
Your bass player.
Yeah, I think I'm with Ryan on that. For you, Unity.
Yeah.
It'll be out on Elemental 4. That's the song.
Oh, it's not even released yet?
It's it's not released yet.
Okay.
Of the ones that are released, I feel like you would dig One Hell of a Drug.
One Hell of a Drug? Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? Any favorites?
Lately, I've been digging Volar Como Globos, which is another unreleased one. It's going to be on the film and the album, but just because one, it's newer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these songs we've been playing are like 6 or 8 years old or older. And two, I get to lay out a little bit more. I don't have to think so hard a little bit. So it's those two things, I think, why.
That's cool, man. I'm gonna make sure I check out Unity when it comes out, but was One Hell of a Drug, right? That was the other one you said?
Yeah, that's on.
I'm gonna go back and check out all these. But yeah, for sure. Anyone who is also going to go check out Dhara, make sure that you listen to all these great songs. Make sure you check out this Elemental, you said?
Elemental
Elemental
4.
4.
Elemental 4, okay. I want to make sure I'm getting all my information correct here. I don't want to fuck this up for you guys.
Okay.
I'm glad you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. So
Trying, man. And one last thing before we go, just a fun question for you guys. Who was the artist or artists that made you pick up your instrument and say that this is what you want to do musically?
Oh man, I'd have to say Hendrix. I have to say Hendrix all the way. Like the first time I think the first time I listened to Axis Bold as Love, I was like, that's awesome. I need more of this. And then I found out he was dead, and then I was pretty sad about that. But I definitely think it's a tie between, like, him and Terry Kath, who was the original guitar player for Chicago. His sound was just unbelievably crazy good. So
Mhm.
cool. Just like very like jazz rock infused and had like this edge to it. It was very, very cool. But those two guys for sure.
Okay, what about you, dude?
Before I knew what distorted electric guitar sounded like, I vividly remember hearing like Brian May.
Okay.
Just like a big open D chord that like he played in something, and I was like, whoa, what is that? And I wasn't playing yet. So fast forward a couple of years, I was interested in guitar, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, I should probably do this. And that just sort of was like I always was chasing for that sound, and I think I finally like got close to it. But the other thing was for me like I didn't really like get like that childhood experience in music like kind of like my bandmates did. I had to like really like hunt it down.
Mhm.
Um, that's just how things work. But two things for me were Brian May, and then one night on like Cartoon Network, Linkin Park's Reanimation. Like they played that video for Points of Authority, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?
Coolest fucking video they've ever done.
Coolest video
Mm.
ever!" And like early CG was like what it was at the time, but I was like, "What is this?" And like my like 11-year-old brain, whatever, was like, "Yo, you got to do this." And then so that sort of culminated in me playing guitar.
That's awesome, dude. Ryan, what about you, man?
I mean, I was playing kind of before I had like strong opinions, so that came first. But honestly, my bigger thing getting into like high school and taking bass more seriously was the Who, John Entwistle, and Cream, Jack Bruce. So I mean, those two guys are kind of the pillars of bass for me, and I'll give honorable mention to Jack Cassidy from Jefferson Airplane too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Was there any particular moment with the Who or Cream that made you say, "Holy shit"? Like there was so much bass in those two bands that I'm curious if you had like that moment.
Yeah, they were both like bass lead instrument bands, but I mean, I have every note of like the triple disc Live at Leeds release memorized. So it was really just like listening to that album specifically for the Who,
Mhm.
which when I first started was only the single disc that my dad had from the '70s, and then with Cream, I don't know. It was just kind of all of it. It was just like, oh, why is this in the front? Especially with the way they mixed stuff too, where it was like, bass on one side and guitar on the other side. It was just kind of a fight going the whole time, and I
Yeah.
really appreciated that.
Mm.
And then, I mean, the not to list a main one, but like Live Cream too, Volume One. Once I kind of heard that for real and can actually hear all the bass parts on like
Yeah.
a better set of speakers was
Mhm.
really important.
Yeah. Great record too.
So I ask you specifically about the Who because when I was telling you guys before about my uncle who got me into the Who, he's a bass player. And that was the main thing.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to check out the Who. John Entwistle's the fucking man. You have to listen to the Real Me. It's like a 4 minute long bass solo. And
Oh
dude,
yeah.
that one track blew my mind. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very, very particular on the Who.
Yeah.
But did you
Yeah.
hear
And
shit, I forget his name now. There's just a supergroup collab. I featured it on I think last week's top 10 of Brad Gillis from Night Ranger, fucking Rudy Sarzo, Tommy Aldridge, and I think
Oh
Rick
yeah.
Hughes just covered The Real Me for Rick Hughes' solo project.
I did not
Oh,
hear that yet.
And it
that's cool.
rips, dude. It's so good.
Okay. I need to, that's that. Okay. First on the list of listening after this.
Yeah, dude, it's like a modern twist on that song, but it sounds so good. And like that lineup, the Brad Gillis, Aldridge, and Rudy Sarzo, that was the first time that they've played together since Ozzy's Diary of a Madman tour. That was his touring band for that after Randy died.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow,
Before Zach.
that's
so
Nuts.
crazy.
so that was a cool thing to hear. But definitely check that out if you're Who fans. But yeah, dude, that's cool to hear. And yeah, the Live at Leeds album is fucking legendary. Cream, they're such an underrated band, dude. I don't even know, man. I feel like they kind of flew under the radar while also being extremely popular with a very niche group of people at the same time. But yeah, Cream was fucking awesome. But Chris, what about you, man?
Uh, when I was younger, three. It was John Bonham, Keith Moon, The Who, and Phil Collins as a drummer back in Genesis. So, and Brand X. So,
Was there anyone in particular that really keyed you into wanting to play prog or odd time signatures or any of that? Like
It was Phil. It was Phil.
Phil?
Yeah. Just that a lot of the belt work that I do is like just ripping him off, basically.
That's cool. Well, that's
Good
gonna
musicians borrow, great musicians steal.
yeah. Hey man. Everyone does it. Every pro musician
Yeah.
at the top level has stolen from somebody at some point, you know. And
Yeah.
there's no shame in that, you know. You borrow from your influences. But that's gonna pretty much wrap things up for us. But guys, thank you so much for coming on. It was so much fun talking to you. This was really it was a good time, and I learned so much about you guys. So
Oh,
um
thanks for having us,
Pleasure.
man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
anytime. If you guys ever want to come back when it gets close to release date, if you want to just promote the album or whatever, I'd be more than happy to
Yeah.
have you guys back anytime. This was a fun talk. But Dara, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, stay tuned for the release date of Elemental 4, the rock ballet that the band is putting out. Check out their socials, follow them, listen to their music. Guys, thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Oh,
Anytime.
yeah.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hell yeah. Thanks.
Later.
That's going to wrap things up for us today. Big thank you to Dara for coming on the show. Congrats on E4, and I am very excited for you guys. This is such a cool thing you're doing, and I can't wait to see your hard work pay off December 5th. Thank you, everybody, for your time and your support. Everybody who listens, all the interactions on social media, who tells their friends to listen. I love you all, and I appreciate you more than words can say. Again, the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way that someone could support a friend or a family member's business ventures is to just help get the word out. I do this for everybody, whether it's a new band or a page for their podcast, endorsements, baking business, whatever it may be. It takes zero effort or time. Share the page, like and share a post. Tell your friends about the podcast, about any of the amazing bands you heard on the show. Stream the music you hear on the Top 10s playlist. If you're watching on YouTube, crush the subscribe button. It goes a long way. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys again on the next one. And thank you for sticking around while I'm working through some rust and the hopeful end of feeling a little under the weather. If you could tell, my voice has only just gotten rougher since we started today. But you have been missed. You have been listening to the Face the Music podcast. Be well, everybody. Be safe, and I will see you again soon. Peace.